This is The Monty Show, the truth in sports talk streaming. When you want unbiased opinions about your favorite team without the spin, all you have to do is find The Monty Show, streaming live and available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on YouTube. And now, here's Monty.
Hey, yo, man, how the heck are you? Happy Friday on The Monty Show. Wow, do we have a massive story in the Pac-12? The Pac-12 fighting the Pac-12 for Pac-12 survival. We have absolutely got to talk about that on the show today. I think this situation this weekend with Texas at Alabama, it is everything for the Big 12. Tyler Shough, it's your moment, my friend. Can Dave Aranda keep his job if he loses to Utah? We have got a full Saturday of massive college football games. The Chicago Bears begin their march to oblivion and irrelevance on Sunday. Justin Fields is a bust. We'll talk about all that here on the show.
Well, I'm glad we're having a positive attitude today.
Well, I mean, that's good news for the Bears. You know, I mean, we can actually talk about a quarterback. You guys know by now I am a bitter pill when it comes to my R&We, the Chicago Bears. The fact that I can't get one of their hats is ridiculous. But without further ado, as the Pac-12 sues, yes, indeed, as we reported first and exclusively on the Monty Show yesterday, Oregon State and Washington State were preparing for a fight, and today that fight was brought to a courtroom as Oregon State and Washington State are asking for a temporary restraining order against the other 10 members of the Pac-12 who are looking to take as much money out of the conference as possible. We detailed this on the show for you yesterday, and essentially what this comes down to is who gets to control the cash and the assets remaining once July 1st, 2024 arrives in the Pac-12. Well, this comes down to a couple of things. Where are you positioned? Do you believe that the Pac-12 still exists on July 1st if it's only Oregon State and Washington State? That is a huge question. In their documents, in the charter, I am told by sources close to the conference, in the charter, it is said that remaining members, there is no designation for how many remaining members, but the remaining members of the conference are entitled to the cash and assets in the conference. We are also told they are entitled to the NCAA tournament shares that will go on for the next 6 years. Those two are Washington State and Oregon State. However, this move today in court was designed to do one thing: cut the legs out from the other 10 members in the conference. And again, I struggled to say it out loud yesterday, but it's pretty easy to say. I agree with Kirk Schultz, the president at Washington State, in his position that when UCLA and USC announced their move to the Big Ten, they were instantly removed from the Pac-12 Board of Directors. Why have the other 8 members who have announced their intention to leave the conference not been removed from the Board of Directors? It's a great point, and I think it is the point that potentially could save the future of the Pac-12 for Oregon State and Washington State. And this truly is, and I know we throw around a lot of terminology and big words in sports. This is an existential crisis, as it was written in the documents in court today. What does that mean? It's a crisis of existence. If Washington State and Oregon State lose this court battle, the Pac-12 is dead. They will melt it down and split all of the remaining assets and shares, cash and otherwise, between all 12 members, and that's a huge loss for Washington State and Oregon State, who are, as we also reported on the show, in negotiations for a merger with the Mountain West, and the money that remains in the Pac-12 coffers could provide a soft landing, and a soft landing is needed because Oregon State and Washington State, should they merge with the Mountain West in whatever form or fashion, will be taking what some are estimating to be a $15 to $20 million annual write-down. And Jake, if they don't get this money out of the Pac-12, I don't see how Oregon State and Washington State can survive.
Yeah, I mean, I think it makes it difficult. I think Oregon State can survive on playoff money. I think that, you can find a way to regularly win the Mountain West, but Washington State's kind of a different situation. I mean, that's not a team that, on the football field has been in any kind of danger of winning the Pac-12 anytime recently. And I think that's sort of the challenge here is like Kirk Schultz is obviously trying to play this game, and I think it's a really smart play out of a guy who's done some pretty, mediocre businessing, if you will. And I think Kirk Schultz needs to understand that, if you're going to start filing paperwork on other institutions, they're probably going to fight back. They're probably going to bounce back. And I think that's one of my personal biggest questions on this. Like, if you're the other 10 schools and you're looking at this, you're saying, okay, they're trying to seize power because obviously they didn't get their landing spot in a new conference. What exactly do we do about this? Is this a situation where, if you're Oregon and Washington or SC and UCLA or whoever you are, that, when you got into the Big 10 or the Big 12, if you're any of those schools, are you saying, yeah, we're not going to fight this, let them have their stake? Or are you saying, hey, we believe we're entitled to X, Y, and Z based on bylaws and situations in the paperwork for the conference, and we're going to fight you on it? I mean, I think that really is sort of this looming question for me, because if the Pac-12 is going to fight itself and we're going to go to blows over how to dissolve the conference, if you will, I still think that's a pretty bad look, even for the schools that got into a new conference. So I guess I don't know exactly how this is going to play itself out. Obviously, Schultz makes a great point. Hey, if you've left the conference, the bylaws say that automatically means you're off the board, can't make decisions, basically removes you from any type of powers. So that's what I think the big question is. Are these schools going to fight, or are these schools just going to say, yep, that's in our past, we're moving forward?
Well, I definitely think they're going to fight. And I think what is so interesting about this filing today was it was not filed against the remaining or the exiting members, these 10 universities that are leaving the conference. It was filed against George Kliavkoff and those 10 members. And I think that's significant because I have to believe on some level the malfeasance and the incompetence of George Kliavkoff that we've talked about for the better part of 18 months now is going to play a role in this case. And frankly, friends, I don't know how it could not, because his leadership and his guidance through this process and those 10 members, we know about Arizona State President Michael Crow, who roundly and loudly supported George Kliavkoff and Larry Scott before him. That certainly damaged Oregon State and Washington State. And I think that support, and I think we've reported for a significant number of months here that Oregon State was looking for a way out. Even after the Four Corners School went to the Big 12, Oregon State was aggressively calling the Big 12 and the Big 10 to no avail, but they knew they were in trouble. They've exhausted all of their efforts. I think that's the other thing that is so clear here is that Oregon State and Washington State are in a position where they know they don't have other options. This is it. This is their last salvo. If they do not get this temporary restraining order, there will be a Pac-12 Board of Directors meeting next week, and I believe it's scheduled for Wednesday, where the 12 members will vote on how to divide the assets in the conference. That's why this restraining order is being filed now, because in the notes to the members of the conference, a vote was written into the notes saying, hey, we're going to vote on how to divide these assets. I think that's exactly why Kirk Schultz at Washington State and the folks at Oregon State got so aggressive and filed a restraining order application against these 10 schools, because if you're those 10 schools, I have no doubt they want to take every penny that they can out of this conference because, after all, haven't these 10 schools suffered from a lack of revenue based on a terrible TV situation over the last decade?
After the envelope calculations.
Well, and certainly they have. And the other thing that they've suffered from is no college football playoff appearances, rarities of deep playoff runs even to get close. You look at Utah the last 2 years, the back-to-back Pac-12 conference champions never had a chance to get into the college football playoff. That doesn't even include the lackluster basketball performance. I mean, the money that has not been made in this conference is shocking. From TV to on-court and on-field performance, it is shocking. The hundreds and hundreds and millions of dollars that have been left on the table here because you have not performed, because you don't have a TV deal, because you don't have distribution, because you don't have television partners and core ad partners across the conference. That's a real problem. And I think that's why this lawsuit is so pertinent today.
Yeah, and I think when you talk about that board of directors meeting, I mean, you're talking about a play here from Kirk Schultz in Oregon State where they're basically trying to say, okay, we want it just to be us at the board of directors meeting, just Washington State and Oregon State.
Yes.
We'll work together and we'll find our way. You know, the percentages, obviously this is easy math, right? Splitting something between 2 people is a lot different than splitting something between 12 people, right? So if you're Kirk Schultz and you're Oregon State, I sit here and I say I love this play, but I also hate this play on some level because it is true. It is your only play. You don't have anything else, and I don't know what your future looks like if you don't make this happen, to which I say it's probably true. The other 10 schools are probably going to fight you on it because it's money, and when money's involved, everyone gets selfish really quick.
That's right.
So I just think that it's a tough situation, but I would expect nothing less of Washington State and Oregon State given their position.
Well, and I think one of the really interesting answers that we will get within the next few days here, how much control does George Kliavkoff have in this conference today? Because our sources have told us, and we've told you for weeks, George Kliavkoff has no sway or input on what the future direction of the Pac-12 is. And to that I say where Oregon State and Washington State are going. That's why they hired Oliver Luck. But George Kliavkoff has had a significant impact on how this conference got there. And I think that's why they named him directly as the commissioner and as somebody that really impacted the bottom lines.
And as somebody who shouldn't be at the table, someone who shouldn't have a voice in the room.
I agree with that. And, you know, the funny thing is we're arguing over the future and going forward. A lot of people want to talk about the debt load and the Comcast debt, and that's all under contract. That is all out in black and white. The grant of rights and the conference charter that expires on June 30th has specific stipulations and language in it, we have been told, that says, hey, you sign this grant of rights and this charter to be a member of the Pac-12, you are responsible by the letter of this contract. Yeah. You are responsible for the debts that have been incurred. Mm-hmm. You are responsible for the liabilities that have been incurred. That contract does not, I am told, specifically stipulate that exiting members of the conference have any claim to the assets, cash, and equipment that remain behind in the Pac-12. And I think one of the points that our sources have told us so passionately about, excuse me, is that the infrastructure investments all 12 of these universities made over the last 3 years to get out of downtown San Francisco, to build a production facility in the East Bay, San Francisco, in San Ramon, California, have been tens of millions of dollars per university. And I think that is where the argument is going to be made. And the problem is, it was never put into contractual language that said, hey, if we leave, we get X, Y, and Z. I am told by sources in the conference that that language does not exist anywhere. Mm-hmm. That in the conference charter, all that it says is the remaining cash and assets belong to the members of the conference. And right now, what Oregon State and Washington State are going to court for, if we're going to break this down in simple terms, it was explained to me what Oregon State and Washington State are asking a judge to do is to say, hey, the remaining 10 members of this conference outside of Oregon State and Washington State, these 10 that are leaving, you're not members of the conference going forward. Therefore, you have no voting interest in what happens to the assets and cash of the conference.
And, of course, those same schools are going to say, hey, well, yeah, that's all fine and dandy, but the problem is what you just said. Hey, we did make infrastructure investments. We have skin in the game here. And I think this is the tug of war, if you will, right? Obviously, again, it goes without saying that the idea that Washington State and Oregon State are on the outside looking in of conference realignment is why they're having to do this. Again, you notice that this isn't coming from schools that have a home. And I think
no, it's not.
That's the tough part is like, hey, this is a classic battle of have versus have not.
That's right.
And again, I've espoused all week and the last month and several months actually about how much I respect Oregon State and Scott Barnes and what they're doing up there. I love what they're doing up there. But the reality of the situation is there's still improvements that need to be made in branding because you're a have-not right now. That's
Correct.
the reality.
Correct.
And so if we're going to sit here and we're going to try to have some legal debate about, hey, who's a member and who's not, the reality of the situation is the conference is dying. The grant of rights is expiring. So that's where I think you're going to run into trouble because even though those schools left, the grant of rights is expiring. That's why they left. So Oregon State and Washington State, you're not going to be a member either.
But I think what they're hanging on to is the NCAA bylaw that says if you fall below a certain the level is 8. Mm-hmm. If your conference falls below that number 8 universities in your conference, you have 2 years to get back above that 8. And in that 2 years, you keep your A5 status, which means you keep your Power 5, you keep your major conference standing. So I think what these remaining 2 versus those exiting 10, what the remaining 2 Oregon State and Washington State are trying to do is to keep these 10 members from taking their brand. I think that's what we're really fighting over because the cash and the physical assets are one thing. Think of this as a divorce, right? Yes, you are dissolving this marriage as you know it. But, you know, when you get remarried, you're still the Monties, right? You're just a new version of the Monties. Mm-hmm. When the Pac-12 gets remarried to the Mountain West, they're still going to be the Pac-12. And they have 2 years by the letter of the law. They have 2 years to add those universities. I think what you're going to see is that once this, and I believe the temporary restraining order will be granted. Based on sources I've talked to, I think they have a very good case. The charter, the grant of rights, the NCAA bylaws all favor Washington State and Oregon State in this fight. I believe a judge will issue that TRO. And there really is no reason not to. That's the other thing I think a lot of people forget. There is no reason not to. It's a temporary restraining order. It does not go on in perpetuity. It does not go on forever. Mm-hmm. A judge is basically going to say, hey, Pac-12, George Kliavkoff and U10 exiting members, you cannot have a board meeting.
Yeah.
Because at this time, we need to have the argument, are you still on the board? Is George Kliavkoff still in control? Because Oliver Luck, and this was explained to me as well, Oliver Luck basically slid into this new Pac-2 as its commissioner.
Here's what's going to happen, Tonto.
And is guiding Oregon State and Washington State and really kind of not working with the remaining 10 members.
Right.
So there's going to be a fight about whether or not the conference still exists. And the bylaws, the charter, the grants of rights all say it does. So I think Oregon State and Washington State have a very, very good chance to get the temporary restraining order and then go on and win the actual legal battle. Because the TRO, the temporary restraining order that Oregon State and Washington State are asking for is not a final thing. It's okay, everybody freeze, let's go to court and punch each other in the face.
Yeah.
Really, it's, hey, let's go to court and make lawyers a bunch of money. It's not indifferent to any other divorce proceeding because that's what this is. I knew today would be shitty. Yeah, that's what today is. Cut a check. Cut a check.
Yeah.
Because your lawyers are going to get paid.
Yeah, and I just think that the hard part is like, yeah, or the other factor, I guess, is that we've never seen this before. I mean, I don't feel like we've ever really, like, we've obviously seen, like, exit fee disputes, right? We've obviously seen, you know, the way Texas and Oklahoma were handled or you know, other situations, if you will. But we've never been in a place where a conference has essentially fallen apart and we have to decide how exactly we're going to handle that.
Yes.
I mean, to your point, right? The bylaws, the NCAA statutes, they all say hey, you got 2 years. The conference still exists, like you're fine, but you got to figure it out. And on the other hand, we've never been here. There's gray area. We don't know.
A lot of gray area.
We don't know what the right, quote unquote, the right thing to do here is. Yes, do they have a case for a temporary restraining order to pause things? Yes, sure, they do. But what's going to happen when the big boys roll in the room? Again, haves versus have-nots. When the big boys roll into the room and say, yeah, Kirk, you didn't really do too much as someone who was sitting on our board of directors. You didn't really do too much to get us a TV deal. You didn't really, that's going to be the fight. We're basically trying to define fault here to decide what the play is and who should get control of the remaining assets.
Right.
If it is determined that, hey, Washington State and Oregon State couldn't have done anything differently, they couldn't have done more, they couldn't have acted differently, then they're going to win this.
You know what this reminds me of? You don't remember this movie. When Harry Met Sally. And there's a scene in the movie where Harry and Sally are really close to having serious relationship. They're having an argument. And in the movie, the character Harry says, well, you better write your name in the book because when it comes time to play, that's mine, this is yours. It makes it a hell of a lot easier.
And go ahead and try me then.
Yeah.
Did you write your name on that TV truck, sir?
Pause, bro. Pause.
Yeah, it says Kirk Schultz's TV truck. That's where we are in college football realignment.
Yeah, and again,
that is where we are.
Kirk Schultz has taken a lot of heat on this showroom, but this is a move that I think he had to make. I don't think there was much choice
I
in
think
this
is a very pragmatic play. It's his only play. Yeah. It is Oregon State and Washington State's only play.
Yeah.
That's it. There's not a lot of, well, maybe we can, just sell extra Girl Scout cookies this year. There's no selling extra Girl Scout cookies.
No.
We're talking about tens of millions of dollars a year lost by each one of these Washington State and Oregon State universities.
That's an issue.
If you think about, they're making 24, I think each got $24 million in media distribution alone. You're talking about, when it's all said and done, you're probably talking about $40 million a school.
No.
They're fighting for their ability to pay for sports right now.
And make no mistake about it. I've seen some people on Twitter the last few days talking about, oh, well, this is about the existence of the university. No, it's not. This is a sports issue. This has nothing to do with academics. Don't blow this thing out of proportion.
Yeah, I don't. They're not. Oregon State's not going out of business as an institution.
Yeah.
Come on now. I think there are real reservations about how many sports Washington State will be able to offer if they lose this situation.
Yeah.
If they do not get a significant bump in the payout and the assets and the cash of the Pac-12, I think you are going to have to stop participating in probably a half dozen sports at Washington State University. They're insolvent athletically. They don't have it. And if you go from $24 million in media distribution to $4 million in the Mountain West or the new Pac-12, you're screwed.
Yeah.
So this is a huge fight. And it's interesting, the Monty Show presented by the Advocates. TheAdvocates.com, the best injury attorneys in the business. Hey, man, if you've been injured, make sure you get to TheAdvocates.com. You can chat with an attorney right now, live online, and you don't pay a penny to do it. There's no obligation. All you're going to get is the best legal advice, and you're not going to pay out of pocket for it. That's the bottom line at The Advocates. You don't pay The Advocates unless and until they win your case. And at the end of the day, you never pay The Advocates. They pay you at theadvocates.com. All right, let's get your comments in here. Again, you guys, it's Friday, huge week on the show. I want to say thank you very much. We blew past 33,000 subscribers. Indeed, let's go. You guys are freaking amazing. We are at 33,330.
Let's go, baby.
We are just, you guys, what is that, 16,000 and change, 16,600 away from 50,000.
Wild.
I know that seems like an enormous amount of subscribers. It's not. If every one of you watching this show, if all 800 of you would hit the like button right now, if every one of you would hit the like button right now, that would really help us. I appreciate you spending time with us every day. Hit the like button. If you are not subscribed, please consider doing so.
By the way, quick sidebar. How many of you watch on TV? Watch the showroom on a TV?
Yes. Yeah, I know a lot of you do. How about my guy? OG Gary sending us a picture of his brand new TV? Do we have it uploaded? We probably don't.
We don't.
But Gary sent us a picture of his brand new TV, his feet up on the coffee table, and the Monty Show on the TV.
Yeah,
I love it. 75-inch TV.
Power.
I love it. Big shout out to Kyle A, who gifted a membership today.
Let's go, baby.
We like to call it Free Membership Friday on the Monty Show. For $1.99, you can get all your comments highlighted and read. We always read our member comments first. For $9.99, you get access to our members-only Instagram chat, which, by the way, was awesome during the football game last night.
Yeah,
the Chiefs-Lions game, as Jake was melting down, Jared Goff missed his, what would you call that? Parlay? Jake's whole existence last night was the 7 yards. The 7 yards that Jared Goff did not get for the Detroit Lions last night. Jake lost a parlay on that. Congratulations, Jake.
Yeah, I needed Jared Goff last night to have 261 yards passing. My guy over here threw for 253. Thanks, bud. Appreciate it.
7 yards.
I know Kadarius Toney isn't on your team, but maybe you could have completed a couple more passes last night.
Yeah, hysterical. I see a lot of you asking if we're going to talk football games today. Yeah, throw your team in the chat. Tell us what your team is, who's their game, and we'll give you our opinion on it. Absolutely. We will absolutely talk Bama, Texas, Oregon Tech, Nebraska, Colorado, and Baylor and Utah. Those 4 games. Huge implication.
Do you believe?
What's up, LV Seminole, a member for 6 months?
Okay.
Let's go, LV. Good to see you, my guy. He says, congrats on the sub milestone, fellas. Thank you. Thank you. We appreciate that. Cleveland Rocks gives us $5. As Deion has shocked the college world, so too will the Browns shock the NFL all the way to the Super Bowl in Vegas. Yeah, I mean, free washcloths for everybody. It's going to be unreal.
Juicy.
Free washcloths for everyone, bro.
Come on, Deshaun. You're not going to the Super Bowl. I would like to tell you that DTR, that's the quarterback. When this Browns team wins the Super Bowl, it's probably going to be with DTR.
Yeah.
Not going to be with 100% guaranteed washcloth man. Okay. Delaric's been a member for 6 months. Let's go. Delaric, let's go. Let's go, Delaric. Good to see you. Appreciate that. AJM for $2. Are they also liable for the large debts as well? All 12 members are, and most people are talking about Comcast. You'll remember that there was an overpayment that went unreported. There are lawsuits over this. The story goes that
allegedly,
members of the Pac-12 management staff knew Comcast was overpaying the Pac-12 for carriage fees. They knew that. They thought they were being underpaid by Comcast, the Pac-12 did. So they reportedly had an audit done. The internal audit by the Pac-12 revealed Comcast was not underpaying. In fact, they were overpaying.
Mm-hmm.
The Pac-12 allegedly said nothing to Comcast. And so the overpayments continued to the tune of about $70 million. That debt has already been started to be paid off because Comcast is not paying the Pac-12 carriage fees until that $70 million is level. So if we get to the end of this year, most of that $70 million will be repaid. But the remaining balance on that, there is a lawsuit from the Holiday Bowl for the COVID year. UCLA pulled out of the Holiday Bowl. I think it was the Wednesday before, if memory serves, very close to the game day because of COVID situations. They pulled out. They did not play the Holiday Bowl. The Holiday Bowl is suing the Pac-12, all of its members, specifically UCLA. There is that situation. That is during this grant of rights, during this charter period.
Back 10.
They are going to have to, all 12 members, make that situation whole, whether they win, they lose, whatever that winds up being. Those are the two major incidents that are hanging around, but there's also The Nick Rolovich situation. There is also the lawsuits from former employees of the conference.
So this is what I think is interesting. You have all these situations, right?
Yes.
So if Kirk Schultz and Oregon State are going to come out here and start filing paperwork and court proceedings on assets, hey, who's got a controlling interest? How do we divide all this?
Right.
Like, how does that process play out? If I'm the other 10, I'm bringing this stuff up. I'm like,
absolutely.
Okay, dude, if you're not going to give us, if we don't have access to the assets, then we don't have liability for the Holiday Bowl or otherwise, or Comcast or whatever the case may be, right? Like, that would be my sort of get back. That would be my answer to, okay, sure, you don't want us to have access. You don't want us to be on the board of directors. You don't want us at the meeting. You want it to be you in Oregon State deciding where the money goes and how it's all hammered out. That's great. But if you're going to pray for rain, you got to get the mud too, right? So they should be responsible on their own for the Holiday Bowl, for the Comcast overpayments, for resolving the Rolovich situation, if you will. Like, that's what I think individuals like Kirk Schultz maybe don't measure as much when they think about, okay, we're going to go on offense here. We're going to file some restraining orders and, try to pause things so we can go and argue how things are going to get, figured out. Oh, that's right. But if you're gonna play that game, the other 10 schools are going to play that game too. And they're not stupid. Right? Like, Stanford's on the hook here, right? Like, Cal's on the hook. UCLA's on, like, schools that have debt are on the hook too.
Yes.
So that's what I'm saying. It's not going to be as easy as, well, we're Washington State and Oregon State and we're victims and we want a restraining order. It's not that simple.
But I'd also like to point out that when you pray for rain, you have to deal with the mud too.
That's right.
God damn, boy.
I'm for real.
I'm proud of that.
Bro?
I'm for real.
Hey, man, you're going to pray for rain. You got to deal with the mud, too.
That's right, dude.
That was amazing.
My boy Denzel Washington with the great quote.
Listen, I don't know. Do you guys think you have enough butter for the toast? I mean, let's just talk about it.
Yeah, dude.
Still one of the greatest lines ever dropped in an interview.
That's right.
When we had Mountain West Commissioner Gloria Nevarez on, Jake earlier in that show rolled out, hey, do you think there's enough butter for all the toast? Just out of nowhere. So, of course, I asked Gloria Nevarez that same question. Hero 75 for $10. The key will be what happens when USC and UCLA announced when they left the PAC last year. Were they still on the voting board? No, they were immediately removed from the Pac-12 Board of Directors. Did they get paid out for the share of investments they had put in? Well, no, because when you make an investment under contract and you don't break that contract, there is no payout to be had.
Yeah.
The thing, don't forget how this is set up. None of these 10 members that are leaving the conference are leaving early. They are all waiting for the grant of rights to expire, and then they are signing a new grant of rights in a different conference. It's not like Texas and Oklahoma who paid the Big 12 to leave early. That's not what this is. This is 10 members saying, we're not signing a new TV deal, a new grant of rights. We're going to the Big 10. We're going to the Big 12. We're going to the ACC.
Yeah.
That's what this is.
Yeah.
So this is very different than any other situation we've seen because there is no contract after June 30th in less than 6 months now.
So this is my point. If these institutions aren't leaving early, right, they're leaving in a proper fashion.
Right.
The play of, hey, we want a temporary restraining order to pause things. I think that's a great way to explain it. Hey, we want to pause motion here so we can discuss how things actually need to be played out properly. There's a problem with that take because, again, no crime, if you will, has been committed here.
That's right.
These institutions are free agents. So if you're going to take legal action like this, I agree it's his only play, but at the same time, you're taking huge risk.
Wow, look at this from Ross Dellinger, who says, according to the Pac-12 Constitution and bylaws, if a member school gives notice of withdrawal, they automatically cease to be a member of the Pac-12 Board of Directors. Therefore, Oregon State and Washington State now constitute the entire membership of the Pac-12 Board of Directors. Listen, not only are we good looking, okay, not only are we good looking, but we're always right. We're always right. Just ask us, we'll tell you. But again, another national media member, Ross Dellinger, one of the leading college sports voices in this country, Ross Dellinger, backing up what we said. And as our sources told us, the charter, as it was described to me, says that when you leave, you're out.
Yeah.
When you announce you're out, you're out. You don't have any other say. And as we've reported on the show for over a month now, George Kliavkoff is in charge of one thing. What's happening this calendar year up through June 30th? Done.
Yeah.
He is not in any conversations. He has not been asked his opinion about what to do going forward. None of that. None of that. So, again, I feel pretty good about what we've told you. I think we have been nails on realignment. I think we have really well-placed sources in this conference. And the belief is that Oregon State and Washington State will win their temporary restraining order. And I think that's exactly what should happen here, because I don't see that anybody else has a case. I truly do not. Shout out to Delaric, who's been a member for 6 months. Let's go, Delaric.
Let's go, baby.
Appreciate you. Shout out to OG Gary, who's been a member for 6 months.
And he's got 75 inches of power.
He says, Utah, Oregon, Texas win. Y'all look good in 8K. Appreciate you, my
All
guy.
gas, no break.
Badass 377 gives us $5. Feel like an opportunity for the Mountain West schools to shake things up with the Pac-12 brand, because let's be honest, just staying put as the Mountain West does nothing. Well, and I would also remind you what we said on the show yesterday. The Mountain West and the Pac-12 members are talking about a merger. Mm-hmm. And Scott Barnes as much confirmed that publicly today, where he said that they have had really good talks with the Mountain West about a relationship going forward. But the thing I want to continue to emphasize, this battle within the Pac-12, that's what's holding this move up. Because if you're the Mountain West, you can't merge with the Pac-12 not knowing what the finances are. Because I think this is just one battle for Oregon State and Washington State. What's the other battle? I think the other battle is how much of the money that you're going to retain is going to go to the Mountain West members. I think that is the next battle on the horizon. And I think the Mountain West and its memberships is well aware that Oregon State and Washington State don't have another ship to board. There is no place to go here. You have got to make a deal with the Mountain West. And frankly, I think the Mountain West wants that. I think they want more competition. I think they recognize that if they add Washington State and Oregon State, a rising tide raises all ships. Mm-hmm. Those two universities, you're going to find out in the next 4 months, I guess, 3-4 months. Washington State and Oregon State are actually pretty good on the football field.
Facts.
Regardless of what their management is doing. They're going to win some football games. And I think DJ Uiagalelei and Cam Ward are two of the better quarterbacks in this league. And I think we're finding out that there's money to be made in bowl season when you have good quarterbacks. I think the Mountain West is better with Oregon State and Washington State, and I think they know that. But everybody wants their slice of the pie. Yeah. Everybody's going to come into this new Pac-12 with their hand out, and they're going to expect some coins in their palm. And I think that's the next fight for these two universities, and we'll find out how that plays. But is this just not stunning, shocking? Somebody said to me yesterday in the comment section, clickbait title. What else do you want me to call it? Monty was right again? Hey, Monty.
Ain't no reset.
Yeah, it's shocking to me that we're talking about 10 really intelligent individual presidents thinking that they are entitled to something that contractually they know they are not. It's striking. It's remarkable, stunning, shocking. I cannot believe how taken for granted Oregon State has become in this conversation. No, who's looking out for Oregon State? Well, Oregon State is, and nobody else is.
Yeah.
And maybe that's just the way the world works. I don't know. But again, it is stunning to me.
Yeah.
It is absolutely stunning to me. Shaner, what's up? U of A Shaner, good to see you. We will find out if the judge in the last Pac-12 lawsuit went to one of the 12 schools. Yeah, maybe. Maybe, I don't know. This was filed in up in Washington State, near Pullman, which is not unexpected because that's where the University of Washington State University is. I think who's going to hear this. And I think it's home court advantage. There's no doubt.
Yeah.
And I think we've all had far, far too much experience with lawsuits, massive lawsuits lately in this country. But this one, that term that was thrown at me, existential crisis, the literal definition is crisis of existence. This is an existential crisis.
Yeah.
This will determine if the Pac-12 lives on or dies right here in front of us.
Yeah.
And I, for one, hope it lives on. It is still, it's never going to be the same. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to sugarcoat anything or BS you. You know that's not how we roll on this show. But it is shocking that we're here. The Pac-12 is one of the great American sports tragedies we've ever experienced. There's no way that this conference should have folded.
No way.
There is no way it should have been so utterly mismanaged. Beyond, you couldn't write a script to be this terrible at managing a conference.
How dumb do you think I am?
The officiating, like lawyers in the officiating booth calling down and talking, like you couldn't.
Are you out of your goddamn mind?
You couldn't even write that script of incompetence.
Yeah, man.
Yet here we are. Here we are. And I it's odd. It is odd. Again, it is odd. I'm rooting for Kirk Schultz, Washington State, to pull this thing out. I'm rooting for Oregon State to pull this thing out.
Bro, what are you talking about, man?
I want this conference to survive. As Pac-12 fans, you deserve better. You deserve better. I don't have a dog in the fight. I'm a long-suffering Notre Dame fan, so hey, we're always going to kick the crap out of the men of Troy. Fight off, right?
Notre Dame, our mother.
Hey, pray for us because we're going to need it. Marcus Freeman ain't that dude.
Right.
But I'm telling you, this conference should have been the best conference ever created. And instead, it's the laughingstock of all of college sports history.
Yeah.
It's absolutely remarkable.
Yep.
And I don't know how you fix it. Let's see. Let's get some of your comments in here because you guys, we already have over 1,000 comments on the show today. The Pac-thetic Conference, Tarrant County, SMU, boy.
Tarrant County, boy.
Appreciate you, sir. Good to see you. Conference Commissioner Gumby says, pause, bro.
Yeah,
pause.
Dude. Yeah, bro. I mean, that's what they're trying to do. That's all they're trying to do. They want to slow play this thing and find their way around the, existential crisis.
Yeah, existential crisis. Let's see. Tarrant County boy says OSU has the Brinks trucks.
They do?
You think so? I mean, they've Research Stadium's going to be lit this year. Mike Smith. Hey, Mike. Good to see you, man. Happy Friday. They pissed off Beavers and Cougs. Now they have angry Beavers and angry Cougars. Me freaking yow. Meow. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. I was going to make a terrible joke. Kurt Peters, Schultz strategy is if I lick it, it's mine. Really? No, that's not out. That's not it. Dale Donut says, awesome, Mike Smith. Conference Commissioner Gumby says 75 inches of power. Pause, bro.
Can you measure it?
Hey, some of us are luckier than others.
Yeah.
Jimmy Otson. Jimmy. Good to see you, my guy. Nothing worse than dealing with mad Cougars with angry Beavers. Exactly.
You ought to know.
Right.
You bought it.
Exactly right. Let's see. Dr. 520 says Auburn and Cal. Love Cal in that game. Love. I almost put some of the Monty Show ducats on that game.
Hey, Monty.
And I think can Cal win every game? No. Wilcox ain't that guy, the head coach. But I feel like Auburn being a 6-point favorite in Berkeley screams to bet on Cal.
Yeah.
At 54.5, you got to take California. Put your ducats on, and I would never. In spirit, you're a California Golden Bear, man. I don't know what they're.
As you can see, there's not much hope for you left.
I have no idea. I don't know what their fight song is. Shooter, Texas. Monty, we always right. Also, Monty, Cal and Stanford are definitely. Who said Cal and Stanford are definitely going to the Big Ten? I said I never said that. Never said they were definitely going. It just makes too much sense. Circa July, never said that. What I said was Cal and Stanford were in the conversation. There is no question about that.
Yeah.
And ultimately, it came down to one decision. Do you want to be at 20 now, or do you want to be at 20 in 3 to 5 years? And ultimately, the Big Ten did not want to go to 20 universities. And I think that makes all the sense in the world, because if you go to 20 now, one, you're just a behemoth. You are so bloated, it is going to be impossible to schedule that. And two, I think the Big Ten realizes that in the next 3 years, you're probably going to get 9 conference games.
Yeah.
Which is going to make life really difficult on Notre Dame.
Yeah, nobody said that Stanford and Cal were gimmies to get into the Big Ten. They were absolutely in the conversation. And, again, it just didn't work out for them.
I would go as far as to say Cal and Stanford thought it was done. I think everybody in the conference thought it was done. And the other thing is, and we've heard a lot of names in the Big Ten on this particular talking point. The Big Ten did not want 6 Pac-12 teams. And I think that's really smart.
Yeah.
Really, really smart. We've heard that about the Big 12 as well. The Big 12 didn't add Oregon State and didn't add Stanford and Cal and didn't even want to talk about it because they got their 4. They did not want 6, basically 6 current partners coming in and having that much of a voting block.
Yeah, you can't have 50% of your conference or almost 50% at that point.
And I think that's really smart.
Yeah.
I think that is really, really smart. Yeah. Really, really smart. OG Gary, Auburn's going to smoke the Burrs of Cal.
The Burrs.
I don't think so.
Pause, bro. Pause.
I don't think so. Hola, Billy.
Well.
Let's go, Blackhawks. Cal about to get clapped by Auburn. We'll see. Y'all said the same thing last night about the Detroit Lions.
Please.
How many of you called me stupid? Well, fat ass is on the Snickers bar again.
What's it like to be right on a guy dropping all those passes? I mean, do you feel just incredible today? Is your new favorite player KT, as Patty Mahomes calls him, Mr. Butterfingers, Mr. Can't Catch a Football, Mr. Throw it to the other team after your quarterback threw it to you?
Mr. Today's my favorite player.
What a joke, dude.
Yeah, 2 minutes until football 50. We'll talk a lot more about that. Gary Wolf, the 10 that are bailing all have fallen into Oregon State Wazoo's sinister trap. They may well have, but if I'm Oregon State and Washington State, they're not getting a penny more than they're entitled to, if any at all.
Yeah, and if this is a trap, it's hardly a painful one. I mean, you're getting a new home with better TV distribution. I don't think you could have done much worse.
No. OG Gary, Oregon State Wazoo is going to lose everyone to the portal. Let's see what happens. I don't know about that.
I think Oregon State's got a real sales package to stay, dude.
I think they do too, and I think DJ is the starting point of that. 520 says big facts, commish. G. Lee says Sick'em Bears beat Utah. I'll be there, win or lose. That game is ridiculously important for Dave Aranda.
Yeah.
There are some people talking about that if he loses ugly to Utah, that he's going to get whacked tomorrow.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if that's the case, and I hope it's not. I like Dave Aranda a lot. I personally, at the end of this year, would replace Dave Aranda because I don't see them winning 7, 8, 9 games.
Yeah,
I don't.
Dude, I don't think that this is one of those seasons for Baylor where the bigwigs need to set the tone.
Yes.
Hey, if we're 0-2, we got to say see you later. And I think there's nothing wrong with that, and obviously with Shapen being hurt, like I get it. I understand it, man. I get it.
I think Blake Shapen is, you look at Tyler Shough at Tech.
Yeah.
Where did he come from?
Same situation. Obviously, Joey's not in any danger. But,
no, but where did Tyler Shough come from?
Mm-hmm.
Came from Oregon.
Mm-hmm.
This is personal now. If I'm Blake Shapen at Baylor, it's personal to me. I'm hurt now. I'm out now. Again. They can't count on you, Blake Shapen, again. And what did he tell us at Big 12 Football Media Days? I want to be the guy that they count on. Well, your best ability is your availability, and Blake Shapen ain't available.
Hello, man.
I don't know. Would Blake be that guy if he was available for Baylor? I think there's a real good chance he's not. But I just, if you're Baylor, obviously the issue is what you owe Dave Aranda if you fire him.
Mm-hmm.
But Baylor's got pockets. We've seen that historically, and you just cannot continue to flounder. You've come too far to just come this far.
Yeah.
You need to take that next step.
Yeah.
And it just seems like Baylor has hit this invisible wall where you're not going to get there. And I think you got to find a way to get there. Somehow, some way, you have to find a way to get there.
Yeah.
Without doubt. I just don't know what else you do. OG Gary says the soon-to-be 8-4 Fighting Irish. Was that necessary? Was it necessary to Conference Commissioner Gumby, existential, is that like eggs erroneous? No, it's not. Rice-a-roni? Expedition Greg, what's up, Greg? Good to see you, my friend. $5 to say Gloria Nevarez should be commissioner for the newly reimagined Pac-12. That is, I am told, the plan. We've reported for several weeks now, Oregon State and Washington State. We told you they were never going to the AAC. Yeah. And Oregon State fans were lit up and pissed off, and then what happened? Well, the AAC announced that they were no longer talking to Oregon State and Washington State. Oh. We've told you from the beginning, the only avenue here is Oregon State and Washington State going to the Mountain West. Now, is that the Mountain West coming and merging, or is that Oregon State and Washington State? I don't know. We're going to find out here pretty quick. Because if they don't get that temporary restraining order, I don't know that they make it. I don't. All right, 10 to the hour, every hour on the Monty Show. Football at 50. Woo! What an hour number one.
Epic.
What an hour number one. You guys are amazing. Please hit the like button if you have not. That would really help the channel grow. Football 50 presented by our good friends at TryDayTrading.com. Stop wondering. Stop. Stop thinking about your neighbor's vacation at Disney World. Stop thinking about how nice your neighbor's new car is, or how much bigger your best friend or your brother or your sister's house is. Start living the life you've always dreamed of because you became a prolific day trader after you graduated the program at TryDayTrading.com. A $10 charitable donation gets you a 30-day trial membership, and you get their entire program. No holds bar for that 30 days. Then you make a decision. It's not for you? Great. Walk away from it with a tax write-off for $10.
Yep.
And trust me, I don't think there's a single listener who's ever walked away from it. All of our Monty Show viewers have always continued on. So will you at TryDayTrading.com. Big day on the Pat McAfee show. Did you guys hear this? Not only is it Aaron Rodgers Tuesday, every Tuesday on the Pat McAfee show, apparently it's Nick Saban Thursday.
Nick Saban.
Nick Saban will appear on the Pat McAfee show every Thursday for the entire football season. I mean, we went through this on the show yesterday. Pat McAfee is setting the bar for sports talk in this country because if you're a college football fan, you want to hear what Nick Saban has to say. You want to hear Pat McAfee and Nick Saban go round and round. I think this is another huge win for Pat Mc.
Yeah, you know, I think I thought about that conversation we had on the show yesterday. Is Pat McAfee the face of, college or really just sports talk in our country right now? And I think that the thing with Pat is his show right now is because he's turned himself not into a great talk, like sports talk host, but he's turned his show into a conduit to get the high level interview. And so by that venture, yeah, he's the face of sports talk. But I think that there's this give and take. I wasn't particularly in love with their setup in Alabama. I guess that would have been on game day or whatever with their show. Like that's going to be the game day set, but they're doing their show there too. Like I didn't particularly like the setup. I didn't like they had all their guys sitting around a desk. Like I get it, you're on the road, but I don't know, man. Like I love the interviews he does, but I don't stay for 3 hours on the show. Like I think it's tough.
So if Nick Saban's on,
I'm gonna watch. If Aaron Rodgers is on, yeah, I think you gotta watch, But I'm not married to, hey, what does Pat think about this guy?
Really?
Yeah, it doesn't really, it doesn't hit
Do you
me
want?
like
do
that.
you want more Pat NFL or more Pat college football? Because I'm with you on what you said yesterday that I don't care what Pat thinks about baseball because he doesn't know baseball. I don't care what he thinks about the NBA. He doesn't know the NBA. But I care what he thinks about the NFL.
Yeah, I just think football in general. NFL, he's pretty good on NFL and college football. Both of them, I for Pat, as a host, I throw those kind of in the same bucket. Even though they're two different things, I throw them in the same bucket because it's football at the end of the day, And that's the hard part for me, though. I think that ESPN's approach to this has been, hey, let's throw Pat everywhere we can because he's got this following, and let's see what happens. And then what's going to happen in a year? Maybe they expand. Maybe they pare it down to just being the power slots for Pat. I don't know, but that's what I think they're doing.
When you look at Pat McAfee, and let's be honest about what makes him the best. What is it? 2.5 million subscribers on YouTube. We were watching his show when Aaron Rodgers was on the other day. 83,000 people were watching it with us. That's why Pat's the best at what he does. And now he's on ESPN, and not only does he get Aaron Rodgers every Tuesday, he gets Nick Saban every Thursday. He gets big-time guests. That's a big deal. And, yeah, I can't disagree that there's a lot of times in the summer it's hard to watch Pat's show.
Yeah.
But I think he's the face of it. I truly do. I don't know. Jeff Woodworth says McAfee has $200 tank tops. The boy wears Louis. He can afford it. He can absolutely afford it. There is no doubt. MBM says can't stand McAfee. Why? Say what you want, Shooter Texas says, but McAfee is damn entertaining. He is. He is. Pat McAfee is the face of sports talk. I agree he is. I absolutely agree he is. I have a lot of respect for what he's done because he's done it his way. The WWF thing, now WWE thing, I think is a big deal for him. There is no doubt. Jeremy Callahan says, Pat me goat. Absolutely could be. Edgar says, who cares about Pat McAfee? Apparently a whole hell of a lot of people do.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and say several million people a month
a lot,
care about, buddy.
A lot. And Mike Smith, yeah, he hit an S-ton. That is why he got a huge contract at ESPN.
Yeah.
He walked away from $30 million a year from FanDuel because he got more money at ESPN.
$30 million.
And they took all of the responsibility for producing the show off of his plate. So, yeah, I think people care. Tarrant County, boy. Football and WWE sells unlike the PAC. Hey.
Correct.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. You are not wrong. You know. Aaron Wilson says, I'm here before Jake says I misses the show.
What are you doing, dude? Not during football at 50.
You're never living that down. You're never living that down. You are never living that down. Let's see. Tarrant County, boy. Pat and Screaming A. Smith. Edgar says, okay, have McAfee versus Stephen A. That would be terrible.
That's not even a comparison, dude.
No.
I can't even listen to Stephen A.
No. I agree. Ron Nolan, what's up, Ron? Good to see you, man. The Pat McAfee show is on right now on the Home Depot stage, mid at best. He almost said bucked up, though. Everybody knows about bucked up, don't they? BuckedUp.com.
Yeah.
Mike Smith, Pat played at West Virginia, but he's a Yinzer from Pennsylvania. What does that mean?
Okay.
What? Deliric, I still watch Pat screaming because I have Spectrum. Oh, wow, that hurts. Big 12 Utes, Stephen A. is the worst, seriously. We also talked about that yesterday here on the Monty Show, is that I can't do argument sports TV. I can't do contrived take.
Yeah.
Well, okay, what are we going to talk about? The NFL. Okay, you say it's good. You're going to say it sucks. Okay, I'll moderate.
Yeah.
I can't do that. I can't. But what I can do is TryDayTrading.com. TryDayTrading.com presents football at 50, 10 to the hour. Every hour, there's a lot of people being forced back in the office. I know a lot of people that have frustrations at their jobs. You don't like your boss, the commute, whatever it might be. If you've been thinking about a career change, get to TryDayTrading.com because you quite literally have nothing to lose. If you go to TryDayTrading.com, get that 30-day trial membership and make a decision. But at least do yourself the favor of going and doing the homework. Because if you don't go and try their $10 30-day trial membership, man, I'm telling you, you're going to regret it. You're going to be sitting at your desk in 5 years and you're like, man, what if? Oh, that's the worst thing in the world. Get it done right now. Live the life you've always dreamed of. TryDayTrading.com. A couple more on Pat McAfee. Aaron Wilson says YouTube TV people love YouTube TV.
Yep.
I'm a huge fan of it. My wife and I, that's what we have now. We cut the cord. I have YouTube TV and I love it. Absolutely. OG Gary, Pat got mad paid. Full gold Rolex presidential. Sheesh, ballin'. Seriously.
Yeah.
Seriously. Skip Bayless is my least favorite. Man, have we heard that take a lot this week. Jeff Woodworth, Skip Bayless killed SMU.
Because it's garbage.
Did he really now? Jeremy Severe.
Wow.
My guy. Pat know how to draw an audience. That's why he's successful. Absolute. Pat's an entertainer.
Yeah.
Pat's an entertainer. And every show's not for everybody. Listen, you guys, if you don't like our show, I totally get it. Our show's not. Everybody always jokes with us that our show sucks. Yeah, we know it sucks. We know it. But there's a reason we've picked up 15,000 YouTube subscribers in the last, 8 weeks? Because we actually have fun here. Like, we have a community, and it's not for everybody. And I'm totally okay with that. No show is for everybody. Hullabilly. Stephen A is greater than Skip.
Agreed.
Stephen's just more talented. He has a better, I don't know what's right.
Got more depth.
There you go. He's got more depth. I like that. Skip Bayless killed his career. Going to Fox killed his career. Jeff Woodworth, zero football talk during football at 50. Well, I think Nick Saban's football talk. I do. Hour number 2 of the Monty Show, as always, presented by our good friends at buckedup.com. Bucked Up Energy, the official energy provider of the Monty Show. I was dared yesterday to try Marca Rocket Pop. So guess what we're trying today? I have it right here. Buckshot Rocket Pop. Let's hit it for hour number 2 of the Monty Show. Shake it up. Get yourself 200 milligrams of caffeine, brain.
Now, you know that watermelon is, the bar here.
Dude, Blue Raz.
You bought blue. So now Blue Raz is climbing the ladder.
I love watermelon, but Blue Raz is really good. Let's see what the Rocket Pop is. Not bad. It's not watermelon, and it's not Blue Raz. But Rocket, see, it gives you that.
It's not bad, dude.
That minty taste.
Yeah, not bad at all, actually.
Yeah, I don't hate it.
Pretty smooth.
And that's the other thing I like about Bucked Up. Their energy drinks, I'm all in on this cherry candy flavor right now of Bucked Up Energy. It's so good. But all their stuff is good. Their flavors all taste good. The pink lemonade, obviously the Miami, the cherry candy, Rocket Pop, you name it, it's good. And the thing you can count on with Bucked Up, you guys, really good ingredients that do the job. Their products do exactly what they say they're going to do. With Buckshot, get it online. They just restocked every flavor. It's going to give you 200 milligrams of caffeine, but there's no shoot up. What it is just nice level energy, and it gives you a mental lift. Played golf this morning, ended tragically, lost the ball on the last hole, hit a really massive 3-wood, couldn't find the ball. But I hit a really massive 3-wood. That sounds weird.
It does.
I pounded a 3-wood. I hit it about,
I
hit it about 240. Was trying to hit it about 220.
Yeah.
But anyway, the point is I hit it really solidly because I hit a buckshot right before I made the turn. Felt great because it clears your mind. You can concentrate. That's what buckshot's all about. Get a 20% discount at checkout. Now, listen, we need to clarify this because I was talking about guy Ryan Gardner last night, the CEO and founder of Bucked Up. Apparently, a lot of our listeners go into Bucked Up stores and say, give me 20% off. Friends, it doesn't work that way. When you go into a store, you get a free can of energy drink with purchase. If you buy online at buckedup.com, you get a 20% discount. Why do they do it that way? Because they don't want you to pay for shipping. They take care of your shipping and then some. I told you yesterday, I got the creatine, I got the collagen peptides, 4 cases of Buckshot, save $46.
Boom.
It works. Monty 20 at checkout. All right, let's talk football on the Monty Show. Open phones, essentially. Somebody asked today, hey, why don't you guys take phone calls?
Guys, phone calls. This is what Fine Mom takes phone calls. Why don't you guys take phone calls?
We have the ability to take phone calls. We choose not to. And we've thrown that out there for all of our new listeners on the show. I know we have a lot. We've talked about taking phone calls, and it's just not what anybody on this show wants.
Yeah.
Your comment section is amazing.
You're welcome.
It's amazing. You guys do a great job. See, like Mike Maples making the point, did you pound the 3-wood on the front or the back 9?
His cock.
Why do you have to say things like that, Mike? You already have me heavily invested in Bucked Up cherry candy Why are you making 3-wood pounding in the front door jokes?
Honestly, I'd start stroking guys.
Did you talk to him about Station Park and how they don't know anything? Yes, Gary.
Gary's so bitter about Station Park, dude.
Yes, I did. All you need to do is go in there and say, hey, I heard about you guys on the Monty Show. They said I get a free energy drink if I mention the Monty Show with purchase. They're going to take care of you. Ryan Gardner's a man of his word. Apsical?
Because
I was reading this.
Oh, what are you talking about, man?
Damn.
Is there an orange dreamsicle bucked up flavor? I don't think so, but that sounds good. That sounds really good. Tarrant County boy, Jared Goff the GOAT. All right, let's talk about the Chiefs from last night.
Let's do it.
Prize picks coming up in 20 minutes. We'll have all of our college football locks and predictions coming up. We got to talk about the Chiefs. Shocked by the Lions last night. Well, unless you were Monty and I told you.
Burrowhead Stadium.
I told you to take the Lions.
Mm-hmm.
Some people don't listen. Mike Tirico pissed me off last night.
Dude, this is a bad take, bro.
Mike Tirico, towards the end of the game, said there should be an asterisk next to this win for the Lions because Travis Kelce didn't play. What? Come on, man. And I don't mind Mike's work. I like Mike Tirico as a broadcaster.
Because it's garbage.
This is ridiculous.
Yeah, it's a bad take. The idea that you want to sit here and be like, oh, yeah, the Lions went into Arrowhead, beat them by 1 point, and there's an asterisk next to the win because, no Jones on the defensive line and no Travis Kelce. It's ridiculous. The Detroit Lions went into Arrowhead and won the game. Injuries are part of football. Hey, maybe Travis Kelce shouldn't hyperextend his knee during practice, and he'd have been out there. But he wasn't. By the way, why would he go out there when he's got 10 days off to figure it out? He wouldn't. The Chiefs were not good. The Chiefs were not desperate to win this game. Now, you bet your ass they did everything they could to win the game last night. They just weren't good enough. The Lions were a better team. So I don't know why we do this in sports. I don't know why guys like Mike Tirico want to go on and be like, yeah, this win is discounted because the Chiefs didn't have their best player. I don't give a damn who they had. The Chiefs ran out the best they had, and it wasn't good enough. And yes, I thought Patty Mahomes played his ass off last night with what he had to work with. I think the Chiefs had a lot of opportunities to go out and win a ball game last night, and they didn't do the job. And that's just the reality of it. It's okay to say, hey, the Chiefs didn't play a good game tonight. That's okay. I feel like the Chiefs are becoming this team now where nobody wants to criticize them. And it's like, dude, it's okay. It's week 1. Things are going to happen. He'll be back next week. They'll get back on the winning ways next week.
Yeah, I think this is a huge win for Dan Campbell and the Lions. The best point that I heard last night was from Dan Campbell, who during one of the interviews talked about how difficult it was to let Jamal Williams go because of the leader Jamal was. And Chris Collinsworth on the broadcast talked about how much as a group they struggled with letting Jamal Williams go. And that David Montgomery from Myar and We the Chicago Bears, did a really good job filling in for him, and he did. But this team took some risks on personnel, and I think it paid off. I think the way that Jared Goff played, I just don't know that they could have had a better performance at a more important time to get your season, to get your season off on the right foot at Burrowhead Stadium.
Mm-hmm.
Is it Gopherhead Stadium now?
Yes, it is.
Burrowhead Stadium.
You have Jared Goff playing well. You have Amon-Ra St. Brown playing well. I think you have real good depth with Gibbs and Montgomery in the backfield. The offensive line, I thought, did a really nice job. Jared Goff did a really nice job of not killing you, making that mistake that I think as an LA Ram we all got used to him making.
Yep.
This is a good win for the Lions. We don't need to put markers in record books because Travis Kelce didn't play. It's not the Lions' fault you couldn't keep your guys healthy the last practice before the game. They took advantage of it, and rightfully so. I think the bigger question, though, with the Chiefs is how much of this is the Chiefs falling off?
I mean, yeah, I think there's a lot of roster turnover happening, right? I mean, I think there is a good bit of, hey, over the years, as time goes on, hey, Tyreek Hill's not here anymore. You know, the famous Tyreek Hill route where he's lined up on the left and he runs basically a full field post that, you know, Patrick Mahomes can roll out right and throw to him. They don't have that option anymore. And I have to give Patrick Mahomes a lot of credit in the postgame. Absolute class act talking about Toney. Hey, dude, this guy worked his ass off in the offseason to even get to week 1. I know that he missed some reps in training camp, and I know he wanted to be out there more than anything. Yeah. And this guy went and gave us his level best. And, yeah, he'd like to have some of those catches back. Absolutely. 100%. But we're going to move on to next week, and he'll be better, and I trust him to be better. Yes.
I agree.
This is what happens when Tyreek Hill-type guys leave your team for more money. And it's inevitable. When you have Patrick Mahomes at the helm, he's going to make other guys better. So an inherent side effect of having a franchise, you know, caliber quarterback on your team is, yeah, dude, the Jamar Chases of the world, one day may play for somebody else because you're not willing to pay him a market-leading deal because you had to pay Joe Burrow all that. This is what happens.
But I need to understand why Clyde Edwards-Helaire is not getting more run on this team. I need to understand. And again, I am not the guy that will ever tell you I'm smarter than Andy Reid or coaches or general managers. Mm-hmm. I look at the distribution last night, and Clyde Edwards-Helaire deserves better than this. He is somebody that I think we saw in college really knows how to catch the football. They threw him the ball one time for 7 yards. He only got 6 carries for 22 yards. You can't have Patrick Mahomes leading the rushing line. That's not going to work in the long term. This cat has had too many lower leg injuries to be risking that.
Yeah.
Let's unleash Clyde Edwards-Helaire. The other thing that I was pretty frustrated with was just their straight-up lack of spreading the football around when it came to Jerick McKinnon and Isaiah Pacheco. Like, I wanted more throws at Jared McKinnon. He was targeted twice, had 1 catch for 10 yards, and that was on the first drive.
Yeah.
I just didn't love the game plan.
Well, and I think that the problem here, or the challenge here for Andy Reid and company, is also Bieniemy, right? Bieniemy's gone, right? So you've also had turnover in your coaching staff that way, right? So I know there was a lot of reports about how, hey, like, Andy Reid's the guy making the plan, and it's mostly his show, and Bieniemy was just kind of, you know, sprinkling in that X factor, like cherry on top. Hey, like, let's run this route this way, like little things. But it's, you know, for the most part, Andy Reid's system. But at the same time, that's a great offensive mind. So when you've got guys sitting on your sideline who, you know, like Clyde Edwards-Helaire, who is, you know, very talented, obviously, like you said, can catch it in the flat, like can do a lot of things, and he's just sitting on the sideline while you're bleeding out last night under 2 minutes, like, that's a problem, man. Like, this team at some point is going to have to run the football. Every team, great team that goes through roster turnover has to learn how to run the football again. And once you do that, maybe if you ran the football more, KT would be a little more open down the field. But I don't disagree at all.
I don't disagree at all. Mike Smith, comment dump. Salamini. They lost by, let's say, a pick 6. You're not wrong. But I do think Kadarius Toney killed them. I mean, at some point you got to stop throwing him the ball, and this is my argument for getting other guys. Clyde Edwards-Helaire is a really good receiver.
Yeah,
that's why you drafted him.
Yeah,
like, you can throw to your backs. You're lining your backs up in quad and triple sets anyway. Throw him the ball.
Well, and
but
I think
you're not doing that.
Dude, you look at even Isaiah Pacheco last night. I mean, it's not like this guy got a ton of opportunity. He got more than Edwards-Helaire did, but it's not like this guy got a ton of opportunity. Like, this is what I mean. I think there's too much of, hey, give it to Patty and let him make choices and run around. There's too much of that. You can only ask him to do that.
The broken play offense.
Yeah, like it's almost like, hey, give the ball to Kevin Durant and let him go 1-on-5. Like,
yeah, I don't disagree with that at all.
You can't do that for most of the game against a defense that's more than capable of turning you over. And I know, dude, the pick 6 was you know, just egregious, right? I mean, off through his hands to the defender, like nothing you're doing about it. But I'm telling you that Detroit defense is legit, and if you're not going to run on them, why do you think that pick six happened? If anybody, I don't hear anyone talking about this. The pick six happened because they were playing zone, and the guy made a good read. He made a really good read in his zone coverage. If they were being forced to play man, that pick six never happens. But they didn't have to play man because you weren't running the football. So what did they do? They sat back. The safeties played 25, 30 yards off the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
Cornerbacks played 7, 8 yards of cushion. That's why that happened.
Yep, totally agree. A couple more because a little bit of breaking news that I think is really important. But let's get a couple more comments on the NFL. Dakota Tubbs. Monty, Clyde is not the running back, man. Isaiah Pacheco is a superior runner. I don't disagree with that. But you've got to get Clyde Edwards-Helaire the ball in space.
Yeah.
If you don't want him to be your running back, I get that. But this is the Jerick McKinnon conversation. You don't want him to be your running back, but you're finding ways to get him the ball.
Yeah.
You're wasting. If you're not going to give him the football, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, move him on.
Yeah.
Because he's got value around the league. He is. There's a lot of people that will tell you he was drafted to replace Kareem Hunt. Is he Kareem Hunt? He's not. He's probably not the NFL runner Kareem Hunt was. I think he's just as good a receiver and run after the catch guy.
Yeah.
And I don't think we have any idea of how good or bad he is because he just hasn't gotten the opportunity.
Look at Patty Mahomes' passing stat last night. I think this is really interesting. 21 of 39, right? Not all his fault, obviously, all jokes aside. There's probably 27, 28 receptions in there, easy. But the thing that really stands out to me here is the 226 yards on a 5.8 average. So I look at that and I say, okay, that feels a little light for Patrick Mahomes, all things considered. And then I go down to the receiving section of the box score. 11 different guys have a reception last night. Now, I'm all for spreading the ball around. I'm not for 11 different guys catching a football.
No, I agree. Adam Salamini. What about Buddy on the O-line that was a slot receiver and false starting all game with one call? It was ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to get cleaned up. I have no doubt about it. James Knight, the gap between USA basketball and the rest of the world has closed. It has not closed.
Yeah, that's a weak-ass take, dude.
Wow. Okay. I just disagree with you. I don't know how many of you guys saw it. At the FIBA World Championships, the USA lost to Germany. LeBron had a really off game, and I got to be honest with you that Steph Curry, his ankle was a little sore, and Jason Tatum, he didn't get to the basket enough. And,
Book was there, wasn't he?
Yeah, but him and KD just didn't have chemistry running the break.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
None of the top U.S. talent is there.
Don't tell me that USA basketball's fallen off when all of our guys are at Rico Hines summer runs and the rest of the world's bringing their best talent. Like, I love you, James, but I can't get down with this. I'm seeing this all over the internet.
All over the place.
Oh, the Olympic runner, Buddy the Olympic runner, who said that the NBA is not a world championship, looks amazing today, and everyone else looks like a fool. The NBA is not trying to win, or the USA is not trying to win FIBA. We're trying to win the Olympics. So when it's LeBron, KD, Steph Curry, Jason Tatum, yeah, we'll see what it really is.
Anybody see LeBron's tweet today with the graphic of USA basketball and his eyeballs on it?
Yes.
And it's got all the NBA players who are not at FIBA. And everybody's like, this is shocking we would lose FIBA. It is? Because you haven't won FIBA for 2 times in a row now.
Do you know what FIBA is for the USA team? You want to have a conversation about this? FIBA's a developmental tournament.
That's it.
That's it.
They've always played the young guys. And the thing that shocks me is every time the USA loses in a semifinal somewhere, people are like, oh my God, the world's caught them. And then the Olympics show up and we boat race people. You're not getting the best American talent. If you're not going to play Book, KD, Brown, Tatum, LeBron, obviously, what are we doing?
Yeah.
We're not trying. We're not giving everything we can. Every other country plays their best players. The only guy who's not in this tournament, oh my God, his name went right out of my head. Nuggets center, Nikola Jokic.
Yeah.
He's pretty much the only guy that plays regularly around the world who's not in this tournament. Giannis is hurt, so he's not in this tournament. He's another guy, but it's Greece. So it's not like Greece was going to win. Of the major powers, how do you think Canada got to the semis? How do you think Germany got to the semis? Come on now. Let's at least be honest. Is it disappointing? Yes. But we sent our B team, if our B team.
And by the way, really quick before we leave this, at the end of your comment there, it's time to start sending your best team available. No, it's not, actually. No, it's not. Because FIBA is a developmental tournament where Austin Reeves is going to get his reps in. And Brandon Ingram can be all pissed off about not getting minutes because Austin Reeves is past you, bro. You are not him. And I think that's what people forget. Hey, FIBA's developmental. Yeah. We don't need to send our best team because we don't care if we win it. And we still found a way to stumble in half drunk at 2 a.m. into the semifinal. That's my point with FIBA. I'm so tired of people being like, oh, my God, we got to stress because we lost FIBA. It's just not. It's not of relevance.
It's not the prestige of the Olympics.
Yeah.
That's the bottom line. And I think it's one of those things where, and James, I don't disagree with you, about maybe it's time to start sending your best team. But the gap between USA basketball and the rest of the world is closed is absolutely not my opinion.
Yeah.
I 100% disagree with you. I do. Connor Johnson said he read Murthy's statement. I didn't, but I thought it was pretty interesting. She said something to the effect of that Oregon State did not create the circumstances that it finds itself in, but that they are going to act aggressively, and I think she said swiftly, to protect their interests, which is what we talked about yesterday. I mean, there was never a question that was going to have to happen. Brandon Unruh, the Chiefs will knock the rust off and rebound. As a fan, I'm not worried yet. It's week 1. I wouldn't be worried yet.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be worried yet. The offensive line play is a bit of a concern. The Hutchinson had his way from tackle to tackle. He dominated the B gap.
Yeah.
I mean,
they move him inside, and he's just causing chaos. I mean, again, you already knew that Patty Mahomes was going to be running his ass off in this game, as he always does. But you got to have some level of protection. And listen, I love Aiden Hutchinson. Right, and this guy is going to be a premier, pass rusher for a long time.
Stud.
But he's not the best guy in the league yet, and he still owned you. That was the problem.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think it's one of those things where you have to. But I also think, like if you look at Jair Gibbs or, you have to get the best out of the guys that you have in their current capabilities.
Yeah.
And I am a big believer that when you look at where Kansas City is, I don't think they're getting the best out of their guys.
No.
I frankly think that they are wasting a significant number of their weapons to Patrick Mahomes playing broken play offense.
Mm-hmm.
That's my opinion. Mike Smith, Gibbs actually looked decent in his limited touches. I would agree with that. I would agree with that. James Knight says, so arrogant. How are we arrogant? I don't think we're being arrogant about Team USA. I think USA basketball is far and above, twice as good at full power than any other country in the world. And that includes Serbia, Spain, and admittedly the Spanish didn't, exactly roll out their best. But, Serbia, Spain, I think Germany is a very average team, and that is their best team. I just think at full power, the U.S. is by far a better basketball program, top to bottom. You have the best basketball coach in the world right now, and Steve Kerr coaching that team.
Okay, now I know that none of our devices listen to what we speak, right? But on my Twitter feed here, interesting stat just happened to appear in my Twitter feed while we were talking about the FIBA World Cup.
Steve Jobs inserted himself.
Steph Curry has represented Team USA in 2 of the 7 FIBA World Cups. Team USA won gold the 2 times he played and failed to win gold the 5 times he didn't. Shocking stat of the day, bro.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, you can call us arrogant, and it's fine. I'm not trying to make it personal, dude, but the idea that you want to say that Team USA has fallen off is just, that's arrogant in and of itself, respectfully. We're just not trying to win the tournament.
Yeah. James Knight, a U.S. player, hasn't won the MVP in 5 years. Okay, so and that has to do what with what? What does it have to do with anything?
What is the point you're trying to make?
We're not talking about individual player. This is FIBA. This is the Olympics. We're talking about a collective of talent from every country going head to head. Our best talent rarely competes at FIBA.
Yeah.
Almost never. And if you go back and look at the tournament rosters, almost never. It's why we haven't, and I know, James, you've wanted us to talk about this. The FIBA tournament just isn't that interesting in basketball senses in North America. It just isn't. If the best players in the world were playing, we'd all pay far more attention to it.
Yeah.
But they're making too much money. Austin Reeves is at a point where he needs that tournament to develop. He's going to develop more there than he is in summer runs. Bottom line. And I don't know. Why? Yeah. Anyway. Cleveland rocks. $500 million and 2 quarterbacks playing this weekend, Burrow and Watson. Dude, that Joe Burrow contract, Jesus. That was awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, yowzer. Let's see. Chrissy says, James Knight, you are equating team success. Why did Jokic win the MVP? He had American players on his team winning games. Well, there is that. Jeremy Sabir, FIBA is a tool for U.S. and NBA to see who has next. Anthony Edwards and Pablo have next. Dude, Anthony
Austin
Edwards
has next too, dude. I'm just saying.
Anthony Edwards, I just don't know where his ceiling is because I don't think we're anywhere near it. That cat gets better every time he dribbles a basketball. It's unbelievable. And I agree with you. I think Austin Reeves, if there's a better player at his experience and age level, I haven't seen it.
Austin Reeves is never going to be a number 1 on a team. Let's be very clear about this.
No.
But Austin Reeves is going to be an absolute savage as a number 2 for whoever.
And real quick, screw Anthony Davis. Like, I'm tired of Anthony Davis. I don't want to play center.
After the street closed Davis.
Nobody cares what you want, dude, because you only play 50 games a year.
Yeah.
If we're lucky. You only play 50 games a year.
Yeah.
Like, the guy drives me crazy.
Yeah.
He drives me crazy. Drew Money. The U.S. sent their D team to play pickup ball. Jeff Woodworth. FIBA is for teams to scout internationally, nothing more to us.
Yeah.
James Knight. All international teams have NBA players who make themselves available. It's just the U.S.
But why is that? See, here's the deal. You're digging the hole deeper. Respectfully, I'm not trying to piss you off, dude. I know when we get into arguments, you get all mad. I'm not trying to piss you off. I'm not trying to be like that. But you're digging the hole deeper. The last comment. Hey, the last 5 years, international players have won the MVP. Hey, who were those international players? Giannis, Joel, and Nikola Jokic. 3 guys, all centers, right? Before that, it was all American players. Steph Curry, LeBron, right? Like, you've got all kinds of guys winning it. So I'm just saying, dude, it's not – you want FIBA to matter, and I'm telling you for a fact it does not matter. It is a summer tournament that Team USA uses to develop guys. And then when the Olympics inevitably roll around, Team USA goes out and dominates, and we have to talk about who's the best of the rest.
Yeah. Xantos Clutch. What's up, Clutch? Good to see you. I'm on the ground in Germany, and most Germans are concerned about the next Bundesliga match more than the FIBA win.
Hey, that might be true. I don't know, man. I mean, sure.
Bundesliga is a great feeder league. Jeff Woodworth. Football starts now, and we're talking about practice basketball. Come on, man. I don't disagree. Boss Frog, Mike, good hearing from you. Just doing my daily Jake check-in.
Thank you. Hey, thank you, sir.
Boss Frog is too busy driving his Porsche
Taycan S Starfighter Wingjet.
He's driving his Porsche Ticonderoga.
Yeah.
He doesn't have time for our little show here, the 2 jerky boys with 2 holes and Jakey.
2 holes.
Good to see you, boss. All right, let's talk football, shall we?
And can we relax with football starts in an hour? It's not like we got Alabama on the tube, okay?
Roll Tide, boy.
I mean, with all due respect, with the Fighting Illini in the Big Ten, you know.
Yeah, we almost lost. I say we. Jeff George was my guy before he was your guy. You remember the curly mullet? I remember the curly mullet. Don't forget Prize Picks. Use the promo code Monty or click the link in the description below to get your Prize Picks. Jakey Two Holes is all in. Not that you can read it because he went with like a 46 grouping.
Okay, so the top one is current, right? And let me.
Shedeur Sanders.
Shedeur Sanders, my guy.
Jake is taking 307.5 yards. He's on the more with Shedeur.
Wow.
See what I,
wow, Moore and Shedeur, really? Wow.
See what I did there. Bo Nix.
24.5 first text, rush yard. I think it's pretty safe.
Why? Who hurt you?
Nobody. I'm just saying I think the guy's going to have to run his ass off. That's all.
God. Can we please get Jake some... Oh, hello, Mr. Marconi, the god of radio. Can we get Jake some listening devices so that he knows that Bo Nix is a jerkwad?
No.
And we never say nice things about Bo Nix on this show because, well, frankly, his name is Bo and it rhymes with dicks, and I'm not a fan.
You got to get stroked.
Quack, quack, MFers.
Jake has Bo Nix.
Non-believers.
I'm a non-believer in Bo Nix. Jake has Bo Nix more than 24.5.
Mm-hmm.
I dislike you. Greg Zuerlein.
Yeah.
1.5 field goals made.
Yep. Versus Buffalo's defense. I think that's pretty safe.
And then Blake Snell, 2.5 earned runs allowed on the more.
Yeah. Houston's been raking.
And then Jake also has.
Now, this one is one from last week that I played. 4 picks here, right? And I missed on Mookie Betts.
Oh, no. Oh, I thought that was a current Mookie Betts. He's hurt. He's not going to play.
No. This was last week. I made this one on September 1st. I made it on September 1st because on September 1st, and currently still, I picked up Dak Prescott on discount with Prize Picks. As you know, Prize Picks offers discounts at half a passing yard or more. So obviously Dak's going to hit on that, right? So really what we're talking about is I've already hit Ronald Acuna Jr. on this hitter fantasy score more than 9.
I'd hit that.
So really what we're talking about, dude, is Justin Herbert, your guy, throwing for 288 yards. Excuse me.
Sex machine. It's sex machine, sir.
Uh-huh.
Justin Hey
Hiscock.
Bear.
Hiscock.
Justin Hey Bear. I like it. I like it. Now. My Prize Picks. Now. My Prize Picks, they're a little different. Here's my baseball Prize Picks. Luis Severino. Why am I relying on the Yankees for anything? Clearly, as James Knight says, I'm dumb.
You are.
5 or more strikeouts. I'm going more.
Yeah.
Ellie Dela Cruz against Santa Louis.
I like this one a lot.
8 hitter fantasy score 8 or more.
Yeah.
He's going deep.
He's going to do that.
My bro Jacks every night.
Yeah.
Boom. Out of here.
Will you please grow up?
What?
Anyway, back to my Jack and Dude, Ellie Dela
You got to
Cruz.
get stroked.
No. Ellie Dela Cruz, 8 or more hitter fantasy score. Blake Snell, 2.5 more earned runs. 2.5 more earned runs.
Now, again, real quick, did you flex play this or is this power play? Because
this is a flex play.
now flex play means he's only got to get 2 out of 3 right to win.
Correct.
Right?
And I'm worried about Blake Snell.
I flex played on both of mine, right? So I got to get
Weirdo.
3 out of 4. I flex played.
Well, you won last night on the flex play.
I did, yes.
At Prize Picks.
Damn Jared Goff.
And then there is some NFL prize picking from your good friend Monty. Hey, Monty.
Dick.
I got Dak on the discount. That's a win.
Whoa,
That's a win.
Jalen Hurts discounted?
All he has to do is get 1 rushing touchdown, Jalen
Oh,
Hurts.
that's as reliable as it gets, baby. Let's go.
I've been a rich man and I have been a poor man, and I choose rich every fucking time.
Let's go, baby.
What are you, Johnny Manziel?
Yo, daddy, he winning that cash. I can't sing
Okay,
or
that's
dance.
enough. Stop, please.
Yeah, I can't sing or dance, but you all know.
Bless up.
That's right. Let's go, baby. I love it. Those are our prize picks. Make sure you get in the description below. Click the link. Use the promo code Monty. If you click the link, it's already embedded in there. Or you can use the promo code Monty to get 100% deposit matching up to $100 from our good friends at Prize Picks. Conference Commissioner Gumby, Monty got Dak on a discount. Hell
We both
yeah.
did. We both did, bruh.
Mike Smith, Jackass Jerry wants Dak on a discount.
Jackass Jerry.
Oh, Jeff Woodworth, Prize Picks should do a play for 2-pack versus pack.
That's right.
No,
Oh, sorry, my bad. Sorry.
Prize Picks should do a play for PAC versus PAC 10.
PAC 10.
Lawsuit. My man. Love it. OG Gary, even if Utah wins, fraud AP will put us 99th.
Fraud
AP. Fraud AP. Okay. I love it. Utah at Baylor. This is a big one right here. I think this one is crucially important. Do you guys think Dave Aranda, in the comments, do you guys think Dave Aranda is coaching for his job? He's got I don't remember what Dave Aranda's buyout is. Dave Aranda, I think, is coaching for his job. And I think it'd be hard for me to see them firing him in week 2. But I think there is no doubt that if he loses, that it's going to be tough for him, very tough for him, to continue as the head coach of Baylor.
Yeah.
I mean, if he loses, is it how he loses?
I think it's how he loses. If you lose on the last possession of the game, okay, that's a little different, right? I think if you're getting dominated, you're probably getting let go, But again, this is somebody who's on a 6-year deal through 2029. I mean, this is obviously not someone that they want to be moving on from, I mean, obviously you don't sign a guy to a 6-year deal if you're committed. But I also think that, he took over in 2020. Times have changed quite a bit. NIL, the portal, a lot of things, obviously realignment. Like, there's been a lot of changes in college football since 2020. I mean, that's just a fact. And Dave, unfortunately, I think has some catching up to do. I think the problem is that Baylor got spoiled in the past, and now Dave not only needs to catch up, but needs to keep it going. And again, I do think it depends how you lose. I also think it depends how you win.
Certainly.
I mean, if you can come out and you can beat Utah, obviously that's a huge win. That calms the seas. Everything's fine. Dave is still the guy. But if Utah comes out and dominates you and you only run for, like, let's say 80 yards and, like, you're having to pass the whole game and you look bad doing it, I do think he's at risk.
Here's the problem. Here's the deal. I don't care if Cam Rising plays or not. And if you are a fan of Utah, I think what we learned about Utah last week was it doesn't matter who the quarterback is. There's so much talent offensively now that it just doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You need to get the ball to your guys in space, and like Mekhi Bernard running the ball with strength and power. Yeah, running through the A gap last week was shocking to me. Utah's going to score probably 28 to 31 points in this game. Somebody explain to me how Baylor's going to do that, because I just don't see it, and I know that. I know I am a skeptic, and I think you guys can understand that.
Well, I think you need to be a skeptic with what happened last week. I mean, how are you? Like, how are we anything other than that?
I don't know, man. I am quite concerned for Baylor here.
I mean, let's go back to the Texas State Bobcats game. I mean, dude, I look at, again, and I know he got hurt. Blake Shapen, he had 300 yards in that game. He was playing well for you, but you just, like, look at points scored per quarter. I'm a big believer in this. Texas State had 14 in the first quarter, dude. That's unacceptable.
What is Sawyer Robertson going to do with Jonah Ellis and Cole Bishop? Because I think Cole Bishop might be the best safety in the Pac-12. Mm-hmm. And I think Jonah Ellis is a disruptive son of a biznatch who you're not going to block. Mm-hmm. And I look at Lander Barton. I look at the rest of this defensive line. I don't know what you say to an inexperienced quarterback who is going to struggle against what I think could be the best defense they see all year.
Yeah.
And I don't know how you expect them to score 24 points in this game. This feels like a 31-24 Utah win. And if it's ugly, it feels like a 42-24 because Cole Bishop picked you off and took you to the house.
Yeah, I mean, the only defense on their schedule that's got anything near what Utah's got to offer maybe is Texas. Texas got pretty good defense. You know, I think there's no doubt that you're going to see the best defense you're going to see all year. And again, I think the schedule is another great point. Dude, you're going to play Utah, then you're going to get a bye week with Long Island University, and then you get into it. Texas, UCF, Texas Tech. I mean, that's tough.
You got torched by a quarterback that your mom's never heard of. Like,
yes.
What the fuck is TJ Finley with all, excuse my French.
Yeah,
but
do you mind, dude? This is a family program.
TJ Finley threw for 300 yards.
Who the fuck are you?
Like, who?
Who the fuck is that guy?
Is he on scholarship? Like,
Dude.
I look at some of the numbers out of this game, and I say to myself, how was Baylor's defense this bad when Dave Aranda's your head coach?
Yeah, dude.
For crying out loud. This is why I'm worried about Baylor and Utah. And I'm worried about, I am worried for Baylor. I feel very confident for Utah because this defense can score points. This offense is deep. It is talented. It is fast. It is powerful. And if Cam plays, the throws come out even faster.
I think Cam's got to play in this game, with all due respect. I don't know where the knee is at, but I'm not on the train of, we're 1-0. You know, Cam can wait till week 3. No, I'm not buying that at all. I think that if Cam can play, this is one of the games he needs to play in. Absolutely.
So no Blake Shapen.
Mm-hmm.
A defense that's questioning itself.
Mm-hmm.
A defense that most people think will become over-aggressive this week. How many touches? Here's another question. You want to know how good Utah is? If they win by 10 or more points, I think Jaquindon Jackson's going to have a huge day because you've got to get him going. That was the one guy last week that you were like, well, where is he? I think you are going to see less spread and more balance in the run game. And it's Mekhi Bernard and Jaquindon Jackson for Utah are two really good running backs that do completely different things.
Perfect balance.
And I think you got to get Jaquindon the football. I think you got to throw him the football. And if Cam is there, I think that happens.
Yeah.
If Cam plays, then you're in a real world of hurt. I think the 47 isn't it I think it's 47.5.
It is now 46.5.
46. You got to go. I think you have to. I mean, if you're putting ducats on it, you got to go under. My sense tells me it goes over that, and I think Utah easily covers the 7.5. I don't feel good about Baylor in this game.
Yeah, I think that Utah's got a defensive score in this game because of quarterback issues. Obviously, like you said, an offense that's not exactly scintillating. Like I look at Utah, and you know, you go to Utah's schedule, and again, this is why I'm looking at this and I'm advocating for Cam to see some time, even if it's limited reps, even if you just run him out there for a couple possessions.
Yeah.
Like again, Baylor's a quality opponent. I know they're struggling right now, but they're still a quality opponent. It's still a road game. Like, I'd like to see Cam get some snaps this week. But again, much like Baylor, Utah plays Baylor, then gets Weber State. So again,
gets Weber State. But what does that do? One, if you're the Utes. And I think all of our Utah fan listeners will know this.
Mm-hmm.
If you're the Utes, that Florida win allowed you to take a breath, but you realize what's in front of you with Baylor because the Florida win's meaningless if you lose to Baylor.
And I also look at the Florida game, and it was awesome. I enjoyed the hell out of that game. Money Parks is a stud. Like,
Fun
I'm with
game
it.
to watch.
I'm with it. You only scored 24 points. Like, there's improvement to be had here. And I know, dude, no Cam, no Brant, totally
and
get
you
it.
took your foot off the gas at the final 7 minutes.
I don't think 24 points is good enough this week. I think you need 30 this week.
No, I think I'm going to go 35-24. It's a win cover over. But if you're putting Ducks, dude, take the under. That's what I'm saying. Mike Smith, Aranda will get a new job next year as a DC at a good school. He may well.
But dude, if you're Dave, you understand you're coaching for your head coach reputation. You are somebody who's a dominant DC, trying to show you can be a head coach. That's the problem for Dave, where it's like, hey, I know what I can do as a defensive coordinator. I know I can probably help someone go win a conference, a Power 5 conference, a Power 4 conference now. I know I can do that, but I want to be able to run the ship and do a good job. And I guess the only question is, you know, where Baylor's front office, if you will, where the head guys at Baylor are at on this, because I think Baylor should be successful in the Big 12. I don't think you should be struggling to be bowl eligible in the Big 12. You're a brand that's damn good in basketball. If you can just figure out, some success, going to a major bowl game, not just like a get me over bowl game. You could find your way into a New Year's Six, let's say, or a big bowl game. Dude, you're printing money at Baylor if you can do that. And that's why if I'm leading that university, I'm like, all right, we got to monitor the situation closely. Because, again, Utah's a great defense, one of the best teams on your schedule. How do we stack up? All things considered. Do we lose by 30 or do we lose by 10? Or do we find a way to make this a close game and it's a field goal at the end? That's what I think you're trying to see here.
That's a big one. That's a big one. Where are you guys at in the comments section on excuse me, geez, Utah and our good friends down in Waco. Tony. Hey, Tone. Texas State was actually the better team in all areas. I agree. Drew
Don't
Money,
lie to me.
I don't think Baylor scores more than 10. That's an absolute possibility. That is an absolute possibility.
The other thing I think you need to consider is this is a 10 a.m. kickoff Mountain Time. It's an early game, dude.
It is, but I think that helps Utah. Utah is always an early-to-work team. So I think that helps Utah.
Yeah.
I would not fret about that kickoff time at all. I love it. And Michael Peck, comment dump. Man. San Diego State says, breaking news, Kadarius Toney just dropped another one. Man, breaking news. Boss Frog, I care if Utah doesn't cover. Boss needs to score 90. Well, you might get that. Rowdy Runner, Utah is going to smoke those Bears. We'll see. We shall see. I feel really good about Utah.
Yeah.
I feel really good about Utah. I think, anyway. Wow, look at you guys on Dave Aranda. He's coaching for his job, but they'll wait until the end or near end of the season to fire him. I could see that.
Yeah, once your fate's decided, probably, yeah.
Yeah, I could absolutely see that. No doubt about it. Tony, hey, Tone.
Hey, Tone.
Billy Napier could be fired mid-season, though. Truth.
That program just has nothing in it, man.
Nothing. Cleveland State, ASU-Ok State, Arizona State. Thoughts on it? Yes, coming up in 2 minutes. Adam P. Aranda's buyout is $29 million. It's a lot for a private school, but there is some doubt about that. His contract is not public because Baylor is private. I think it goes down by year, and I don't think it's still $29 million, but I could be totally wrong. I don't think Baylor would fire him, Raider Mark says. Really? Bryce Martin, crazy how Aranda got on the hot seat after one game, but the first game was a fireable offense. They couldn't even line up. Dude, it was ugly.
Yeah.
It was ugly.
Yep.
Ron Nolan, is Bernard or Utah okay? Utah's fantastic, and I think Mekhi Bernard's a really good player.
Yeah.
Chris E., true, Billy Napier and Jimbo Fisher should be on the hot seat if they have 5 and 7. See, Jimbo Fisher has a massive buyout. That's a huge buyout. Let's see. Gumby says, does Cam need to play this weekend? Yeah, I think he needs to play. I don't even hesitate in that. I think you have to play. Adam P. says, Texas State is very good. That quarterback is a beast. Well, he played at Auburn. I mean, but it's Texas. It's Texas State.
Mm-hmm.
Come on now. Hullabilly says 48-17. Oof.
That's an ass kicking.
Oof. Jeff Woodworth, is Scott Bakula still the starting quarterback in Texas State? God, I love you. Remember that? Oh, unnecessary roughness was so good. I mean, so good. Look at you guys in the comments section. Amazing. Thank you so much. Let's move on. Monty owes a ribeye. The ribeye must be paid.
Guy.
Let's go.
Talk to Teddy. Don't talk to us.
I'm here, man.
Dude, we're not trying to steal the steak. We're happy to pay the steak.
Javier Garza, I'm calling Dan Mullen right before letting go Aranda. AJM says, go Armadillos. You don't even know what that is, do you? Hullabilly, I disagree on Barnes being better, but I do agree that Utah will be fine. Okay, Barnes is not better than Rising. Stop. Stop. That is not, Mike Maples, nobody beats Kathy Ireland kicking balls. Oh, Kathy Ireland. Let's do Arizona State, OK State.
The Dillinghams.
This is a problem because I have no idea who Oklahoma State is. My guess is, and this is strictly a guess, I think last week was absolutely a wrench and forceps game. I don't even know what that means for Okie State. Oklahoma State's favored by 3. The number's 53 in Tempe. That'd be 7:30 Pacific time, 10:30 Eastern. Who is Oklahoma State? That's the real question here, right? Because I don't think we saw anything that applies to who Oklahoma State is this week from last week. I think he played all 3 quarterbacks.
He did.
The Gunner Nation did.
Including Gunner.
I don't know who this offense is. But what I do know is Jaden Rashada could be a problem for that defense. I think when you look at Rashada, that game, they could not score in the second half. That's a little concerning. I think Oklahoma State had a rough first game. There's no question about that. Arizona State had a rough first game. I think they are a work in progress. I think Mike Gundy and the Pokes are sharper. I think I look at their passing game. I think it's better than Arizona State. I think Jaden Rashada is going to make plays down the field. He is a cannon for an arm, and the kid can really move. And I think he's trying to win a job because I think they'd like to start Drew Pine instead of Jaden Rashada, which I think is stupid. But again,
seriously, I'm
a talk show host. I'm not a football coach. But if I had to really guess, I put this at a 1-score game. And I think as I sit here with Oklahoma State and ASU, I want to say that Oklahoma State's going to be a touchdown better. I have Oklahoma State somewhere around 24 points. I think this is 24, something like 17. 27-17.
Mm-hmm.
And Rashada might hit something late, but they were terrible in the second half, so I expect Kenny Dillingham to get them ready to play in the second half. I'm going to go 24-17 Arizona State. And based on the fact that this is, what is this, -3, I think, as of this moment, I want to say that the number on this game is -3 for Okie State.
It is.
-3, 56.5.
Yeah.
I'm going to take this as a win, a cover, and an under for Oklahoma State. I think it's a critical game.
Mm-hmm.
This is, as September games go, Week 2 games go, this is a must-win because you're playing in Arizona State that's understated.
Yeah, I think the Rashada situation is the most important part of this game. Oklahoma State, like you said, last week played all 3 of their quarterbacks. All 3 guys were productive, did some nice things, right? So, I mean, at some point you're going to have to pare that down and name a starter, a guy, But I think for Arizona State, again, this is still a team that's got a point to prove. And I think if that's going to be the theme of your season, what better example of that than Rashada? This is a guy that they're not thrilled to be starting, and I think he understands uniquely that he can come out and put on a show. But I do think that Arizona State is not quality enough to beat Oklahoma State. I trust Mike Gundy more than I trust Kenny Dillingham to get his team ready at this point. So I would agree with what you have there.
The truth be told, if Oklahoma State's going to win this game, they're going to do it through the air because Arizona State's defensive front's pretty good. They can't cover your mom. And if your mother-in-law has a hip replacement, they can't cover her either. So I think the secondary at Arizona State is very weak, but their run defense is admirable. I'm trying to be nice.
Be nice.
Arizona State's run defense is serviceable. How about that? But if you're an Oklahoma State fan, you better find out who your quarterback is tomorrow in Tempe. You need a quarterback, and not a group of quarterbacks. A number one, a guy to win that job. I need a quarterback to win that job. And if we're not going to get a quarterback to win that job, I think Oklahoma State's in for a fight to get to 6, 7, 8 wins.
Yeah.
Now, if you come out tomorrow, you're one quarterback, won the job, throws the ball, you could win 35-10. Honest to God, you could win 35-10. But I don't see it that way for Okie State.
It's too early.
Yeah.
It's too early.
Kelly Parks, what's up, Kelly? Better look at ASU versus the Big 12. Last time a Big 12 team visited, Patrick Mahomes lost. ASU's not that team anymore. Yeah. ASU's not talented, and they're not developed.
Yeah.
That's just the reality of where they are.
ASU was a much more talented, disciplined team during Patty Mahomes' era.
Wow. Kelly's calling it 28-24 Arizona State. Dude, if Arizona State wins this game, you got to shave the mullet.
Yeah.
You do. Javier, Arizona State doing something stupid. No way. Who knew?
I'm a man.
What? Rashada is going to shred Oklahoma State, but that ASU defense is not it, buddy.
That's
no,
what I'm saying, dude. I think Rashada is going to have a nice night, but
hey, boy, that Arizona State defense, that ain't it, buddy.
Yeah, they can't Triton them.
Tone, Gundy should shave the rat's nest off the back of his head.
Yeah, dude.
Salamini, I think the Cowboys, but I could be wrong. Mike Smith, Gundy is a man and the mullet is mad.
I'm a man.
We'll see. We'll see. You got to find a quarterback here.
Yeah.
You've got to find a quarterback. OG Gary, Arizona State 21, OSU 42.
Jesus, dude, relax, bro.
Oh, that is rough. Roundabout ASU, they play to lose the game. The second half last week was tough to watch. After the haboob, which isn't a sexual reference, it's a sandstorm. After the sandstorm and the weird lightning rolled out.
Yeah, and everyone left.
Nobody came back. And B, neither did the Arizona State offense because they couldn't move anything. They held on to win that game.
Yeah.
BYU better be ready for SUU because Adam P. Adams P. Is there a plural? Adams? Is there like a possessive?
Hiscock.
Okay.
Hiscock.
OSU wins big. ASU is a hockey school. Wow.
Damn, dog.
You're not that wrong. You're not that wrong. I'm going to go Oklahoma State 24, Arizona State 17. Win cover under for the mullet. Win cover under. Bill G. Gundy will have the most expensive dye job in perm in the stadium.
Damn.
I would agree. Where are you at?
I think Oklahoma State gets 30 in this game. I would say 31-21, Okie State.
All right. Salty Drunk says, I need a football bet to stake. Any recommendations, guys? All right.
Notice he's changed everything on his profile.
He's no longer
a Texas Tech fan. What happened? Wyoming get you there?
All right, let's talk football stakes on the Monty Show, presented by our good friends at The Advocates, theadvocates.com. The best injury attorneys in the business? Damn right, The Advocates. I tell you every day on the show, guys. Did you get hurt at work today? And I know it's a tough situation for you. Maybe it was one of your friends, your brothers, your mom, your sister, your neighbor across the street got hurt at work today. It's rough. You're worried about so many different things beyond how much physical pain you're in, the money that you're not making. Will you have a job when you're healthy again? Let the Advocates take all that off your plate. Let them handle it all because there's not a workman's comp situation the Advocates have not seen. And I know that your boss told you, hey, everything's fine, man. We've got you, our workman's comp insurance. You're good to go, Billy. That job will be here when you get back. Maybe it will, but maybe it won't. What do you have to lose with a no-cost, no-obligation consultation? You don't even have to make a phone call if you don't want to. Get online at theadvocates.com. Chat with an injury attorney online for free right now. Doesn't cost you a penny to chat with an attorney online at theadvocates.com. The biggest games of the weekend. Week 2 has some doozies. Let's start with the one that you're all focused on. Matt Rhule in Nebraska. See, you're all focused. It's Deion.
So see what he did there?
It's Coach Prime. Coach Prime. Nebraska, Colorado.
Now,
-2.5. The over's 58.5. 10 a.m. Boulder, noon Eastern on Fox.
Let's go ahead and let's pull my prize picks back up because my prize picks are very relevant, very front and center.
No, they're not.
You know, look at my boy up top,
Shedeur
Sanders, baby.
Hey!
Right? This is someone that what is the number? 307, I think it is for him.
Correct.
I need my guy to have 350 against Nebraska. And I feel pretty good about that. This is going to be, I think, a little bit tougher of a game now that there's tape out. Because that was the other thing no one talked about with Colorado TCU.
Yes.
There was no tape. What were we preparing for? We were just preparing for what you thought was going to happen. So now we're going to double Travis Hunter. Now Shedeur is actually going to have to, work through the defense a little bit more than he had to. They're going to be scheming. So I don't think we're seeing a 500-yard performance out of Shedeur again. But I definitely think 315, 320, hell, even 330 is more than available. I don't think Nebraska has things spinning correctly yet. I think they're a work in progress. I don't think that they proved anything in that loss, if you will.
Really? I think you're fine on this Prize Picks. I think Shedeur, you guys know this, I think Shedeur is the leading candidate as the Heisman Trophy leader right now. I look at how this is an old rivalry. This is an old Big 12 rivalry, and I love it. Deion Sanders obviously is running a high-powered offense.
Yeah.
There's no question about that. You're going to have to be able to score. Travis Hunter is your focus. Make somebody other than Travis Hunter beat you. What did TCU give up last week? 565 yards, 45 points, 22 to 30 missed tackles. Come on now. We got to be better than that, right? I think Matt Rhule is a very interesting cat. I think when you look at them, I think that you have to figure out if Jeff Sims is that dude. If Jeff Sims is that dude at quarterback for Nebraska, let him be that dude. Because I felt like against Minnesota, the play calling was horrifically tame. It was unimaginative. It was not hard for the Gophers to figure out what Nebraska was trying to do.
Yeah.
And I think against Colorado, you're going to have to be better than that.
Stay hard.
I think Gabe Ervin's going to have an absolute massive part of the offense here. There are going to be chances for Jeff Sims to make big plays. It's the only way Nebraska wins this game. It's the only route. You are going to have 3 20-yard plays, in my opinion, at a minimum, and one of them's got to go for a touchdown. You've got to get this Cornhusker offense pushing and shoving Colorado's defensive line. Can they do that? Yeah, I don't know. Because I think there's one thing that's very clear. We know that there are athletes on the field in Boulder. But if you are Matt Rhule, you are a defensive guru. So let me just plainly state it. Is Colorado, every time they get the ball, going to score a touchdown? Or are you going to convert those touchdowns into missed or made field goals? Are you going to hold them on 4th down? Are you going to get off the field on 3rd and 12? Because that's why TCU got beat.
Mm-hmm.
TCU didn't get beat because Colorado was more talented. TCU got beat because they missed between, conservatively, 22 and on the high end 30 tackles.
Right.
Do you understand they missed 11 tackles on 3rd and plus yardage? That cannot happen if you are Nebraska. That's the key to the entire game.
Yeah.
Now, I will say, I love Colorado in this game. I think Shedeur Sanders, it was no fluke. He went for 500 yards, boys. That's not an accident.
Yeah.
Let's not pretend somehow that Shedeur Sanders woke up, took a dump, and accidentally threw for 500 yards.
Oh, no.
That did not happen. He was prepared. He knew what TCU's defense was going to do. And how did they beat TCU? Shedeur Sanders put the ball on frame with the guy in motion.
Yeah.
How many times did TCU miss a tackle because a guy was in motion? A lot. And the question is, will Nebraska do a better job? And the answer is, I don't think so. I love, love, love Colorado in this game. I think they continue to be the media darlings of college football. I think Sanders, Hunter, I think, in my opinion, I think you are going to get 250 rushing yards out of Colorado tomorrow. I think this is a Nebraska team that to win has to clock control, and I don't think you're doing that against Colorado. I love this to be a 37-20, 37-27 Colorado win over Nebraska.
Yeah, and I think Nebraska turns it over in this game. I love the idea that Colorado has better athletes that, are going to make plays. And I think, again, I don't think this is 500 yards again out of Shedeur, but I do think that it's, I would not be at all surprised with 330, 340, a bunch of attempts, 60% completion percentage. Like, I wouldn't be surprised by that. This cat can play. And so I look at this and I say, yeah, Colorado's definitely going to cover the -3. And the only question is, how many points is Nebraska going to score en route to losing this game? I mean, if they can score 21, then this game goes over. But, if this is a 38-17 game, that's...
How many interceptions does Sims throw? Because I think he had 3 last week against the Gophers.
Yeah.
If he throws more than 1 interception, this is going to be a 14-point win for Colorado.
Yeah.
Because I think Matt Rhule has Nebraska moving in the right direction. The biggest thing we found out about Colorado last week is they're really talented. And I just don't think Nebraska's that talented right now. Not because we watched a good part of that game against Minnesota. I don't see Nebraska being nearly as talented. They're not as explosive. I love Colorado in this game.
Yeah.
I think again 37-24 win cover over for Colorado. Daniel Hughes, you guys are my favorite local sports team in the Salt Lake market. Appreciate that, Daniel. Thank you. I very much appreciate that. OG Gary, they ain't Rutgers, darling Deb. Oh boy, what did Deb say?
Deb.
OG Gary, like 1 in 11. You guys are having your own conversation. Darling Deb says Rhule is a whole team genius, to be honest. Well, we didn't see that.
Yeah, I'm struggling where the genius part came through.
I think it will happen next year. This and my firm belief is in Matt Rhule. I think Matt Rhule, a year from now, could have one of the better teams in the middle of the pack of the Big Ten.
Yeah.
He's probably 3 years away from being talented enough to compete for a top 3 spot in the Big Ten.
Yeah.
I think Deion Sanders, a year from now, is going to be fighting for the Big 12 championship because so many kids want to go there and play now. Having seen it in person, I think they want to go there and play. That's the difference here.
Yeah.
That's the difference. Bryce Martin, how do you game plan Hunter, though? Jimmy Horn Jr. is a good receiver as well. And that really is my point. I think your biggest issue at Colorado is that you don't know how fast they are until they're on the field in front of you. And it really creates a huge problem because you don't have a way, if we're being honest about it, you don't have a way to really game plan this offense other than kill the quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
And right now you don't have the linebackers to catch Shedeur Sanders.
Yeah.
And he showed, one of the things he showed, TCU generally was in the right place at the right time. But they were hands tackling. Because I think they didn't anticipate Colorado being that fast. I think when you look at Nebraska, they don't have the defense that TCU does. And Colorado is much faster than TCU anticipated.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things that I look at and I'm like, dude, if Colorado is going to continue to play this fast, you're in real trouble here. And really, and I'm looking at the box from last week on Colorado. And I think Dylan Edwards is that dual threat that will absolutely cripple Nebraska. Okay, he's more important in my opinion than Hunter. Because you're not stopping Travis Hunter.
No.
He's just faster and he catches the football, defense and offense.
Yeah, I think Jimmy Horn, obviously Jimmy Horn's quality. I mean, if you're just looking at the piece of paper, Jimmy Horn and Travis Hunter are the same guy. The problem is that Travis Hunter is incredibly explosive and is beating his man repeatedly, which is how he's getting his. Jimmy Horn, was open because TCU had to respect Travis Hunter so much. And I think that's the thing. Jimmy Horn's that guy that benefits from the alpha being bracketed. And I would expect Nebraska to be all over Travis Hunter this week.
Darling Deb, Monty, it took Rhule 1 season to transform a scandal-ridden Baylor, but But that's Baylor. That's Texas. That was Matt Rhule in his prime. Let's not forget that Matt Rhule has to prove himself as a head coach.
Yeah.
Because coming out of Carolina, that all got shook. I don't believe that Matt Rhule is a bad coach. I don't believe that he can't recruit. Nebraska's a tougher sell than football in Texas.
Yeah.
Nebraska in the Big Ten is a tougher sell than Baylor in the Big 12. I think it's a little steeper hill to climb. Matt Rhule believes in the transfer portal. He better use it because he's going to need it. As soon as he gets talent, he is proven to be a schematic wizard. The guy knows how to run defense. And I think his offense is going to come around. They can't turn the ball over. It's that simple.
By the way, in your comment, it's not M-O-N-T-E. It's M-O-N-T-Y. Look on the wall. I mean, if it wasn't obvious enough.
Dude, you're a fucking red ass right now. Like, what are you doing?
I'm just telling you.
Listen,
I'm just telling you, man. I'm not going to have grammatical errors on the name, bro. It's
you're
your
not
name,
going to
bro.
disrespect fat ass. You're
Yeah,
not doing
dude.
it on my watch, bro.
on your ass.
Like I can't have M-O-N-T-E. It messes with my chakras and stuff.
You know. All right. I'm 37-24 Colorado. Where are you at?
I'm going to say 38-17. I think it's a, pretty thorough ass kicking.
Ron Nolan, Shedeur Sanders is the sixth highest paid college football player, $1.6 million. Net worth, $6 million. Dude's making it. Conference Commissioner Gumby. It's not Monty, it's Monty.
Yeah, dude, come on,
Hey,
dude.
Monty.
Hey, Monty.
Hey, Monty. Kyle A. Where are you? I agree. Jake's salty today.
Yeah,
it's been a day.
Well, yeah, it's kind of, yeah. And when you roll, and again, James, I love you, dude, but the FIBA thing got me going a little bit here.
Delaric, 42-14 Colorado.
Damn.
Ooh. Okay, I'm here for it. The dynasty is not over.
Oh, boy.
The dynasty is not over. Roll Tide.
Them Longhorns, boy.
Hook 'em, boy.
Bringing them stairs to
Hey, Quinn
Alabama.
Ewers, enjoy your last game at quarterback.
Tuscaloosa, Bryant,
Nick
Danny.
Saban is a better man than you are.
Bama minus 753 is the number. 7
Roll
o'clock.
Tide.
7 o'clock ESPN.
But that's not on the Pat McAfee show. That's on like regular ESPN. I just want to point that out.
Right.
Just so there's no confusion.
You got this game.
Dude.
Boys, this is what big boy football is all about. Where are you at on Texas right now?
Yeah, I mean, I think that the question that I have is Alabama's offense versus Texas's defense. I think, Milroe's ability to run and escape is going to be on full display in this game. The ability, much like Patty Mahomes last night, right? Like you got to
Patty Ice, please.
I'm sorry, my apologies. You got to have the ability in this game to run away from the pressure and complete the pass. It's not going to be a comfortable pocket passing, shred the defense type game. This defense in Texas is too damn athletic and too damn smart. Jahdae Barron is a dude at cornerback, sometimes safety, that's ready for this game. That's looking forward to this game, got it circled on his calendar. If you don't know who that is, go find the interview on the channel. I think this game had, again, not hating on Quinn Ewers in that offense, but I think this game is all about Texas's defense.
15 returning starters at Texas.
Yeah.
And I think Quinn Ewers has a point to prove because there is no doubt in my mind that Quinn Ewers is tired of hearing the name Arch Manning. He's heard it all week. He's heard it all summer. And he's tired of hearing about it. And I think this is a get-back game. And I would remind you how well Quinn Ewers played against Alabama last year. 9 of 12, 134 yards, and then he got popped. Because that's what Alabama does.
Yeah.
Now, that was at DKR. This game's not at DKR. This is at Bryant-Denny in Tuscaloosa. This is a different deal. Now, having said that, there's one guy, and his name is Ja'Tavion Sanders.
Sanders is a big name in this town.
That's one of the best tight ends in the country, and Quinn Ewers, they better use him. Because I think Alabama is vulnerable in one spot, and it's right behind the linebacker. It is, in my opinion, I think that is their one spot. But the other thing that I think is really interesting in this game is not Texas's offense versus Alabama's defense. I think the thing that's really interesting is Tommy Rees's offense at Alabama against Texas's defense. That's the question to me, because I don't think there is any doubt anymore that you have a quarterback. You have Milroe is your quarterback at Alabama.
Yeah.
You might not like it, but Jalen Milroe is your quarterback at Alabama. And I think Milroe, it was Middle Tennessee. Yeah, it was. But that was also the game where you were trying to prove you should be the starter at Alabama. That's called pressure.
Yep.
And I think he lived up to it, and I don't think he gives a flippin' flop, which is not really a word.
Stay hard.
I don't think he cares who's on the other side of the line. I think Milroe wants to be the quarterback at Alabama. I think he is a pure dual-threat quarterback. I love Texas. I love everything about Texas. I think it's one of the top coaching staffs in the country. I think Steve Sarkisian is an offensive genius. But this isn't coming down to Steve Sarkisian's offense. It's coming down to that Texas defense against what I think is going to be a really difficult Alabama offense, and we have no idea what they're going to look like.
Yeah.
I think that there is no question you do not want to try and win the game by running on Texas, and Alabama will not try to win the game. Milroe's going to throw them and read option them to a victory tomorrow night in Tuscaloosa, or they're going to lose.
Yeah, I think Texas, the defense for Texas, their main mission is getting a turnover in this game. I think if you can get, especially in the first quarter, if you can get an early turnover, get Quinn Ewers in the offense rolling a little bit, you give yourself a much better opportunity. But again, if Milroe comes out with his offense and is able to put up, let's say 14 points in the first quarter, Texas has very little chance to win this game. And I only say that because you're on the road here. You can't allow Alabama to come out, set the tone, drive right down the field in their first offensive possession, and the crowd's in it. Obviously the crowd's going to be in it at the beginning, but you know what I mean. When you get that early first possession score, your chances of winning the game go way up. And I don't think Texas can afford to have that happen.
College football talk on the Monty Show, presented by our good friends at Bucked Up Energy, buckedup.com, the official presenting sponsor of college football talk on the Monty Show. As I always tell you, get to buckedup.com. Whether it is your Buckies, your Buckshot, your Bucked Up Energy, your collagen peptides, your whey protein, your creatine, you name it, whatever you need, you have the assurance of Bucked Up using the best products to make the best products, the best ingredients that make the best products that do exactly what they say they're going to do, because it's Bucked Up. You know it, and I know it. Buckedup.com. Use a promo code Monty20 to get 20% off at checkout. Ultimately, this game comes down to identity. And the identity of the Alabama Crimson Tide in front of a raucous Bryant-Denny Stadium is they win big games at home.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to happen here. I want to take Texas. I want to believe that Texas is him. And guess what they are? They're the best team in the Big 12 this year. Of that, I am certain.
Yep.
But there's not a big difference between these two teams. When you put them on paper and you put them next to each other and you watch a little tape and you watch, Milroe's the difference maker. I think Milroe's a better quarterback than Quinn Ewers. I think he's more versatile. And I think ultimately that wins the game. 27-24, Alabama beats Texas.
Yeah, I think it's a little bigger spread than that. I think Alabama finds their way into the 30s in this game because I think Milroe has an exceptional performance. I think your point about the read option and that causing havoc for the Texas defense is spot on. I think that if this was at DKR, I'd be singing a different story. I'd be saying that Texas is right in this thing, but I just can't. Texas is going to have to show me that. They're going to have to prove me wrong for me to believe that they're going to go to Bryant-Denny and beat Nick Saban in that building.
They can.
I think they're capable, but I don't think they will. And this is where, again, I know Quinn Ewers, the great Quinn Ewers, this is your opportunity. You want to shut all the haters up. You want to stop talking about Arch Manning. You want to stop talking about everyone sitting behind you. Come out and give me 300 yards, big plays, big completions. Throw the ball, take the hit. That's what you have to do in this game to shut up the haters. I just don't think Quinn is that guy. I don't. And he's going to have to show that. So to me, I say, Alabama is favored by 7 in this game. I think it's spot on. I think Alabama wins by a touchdown. I would say, you're probably 31-24, something like that. Right in that neck of the woods.
I think it's winning under. I don't think there's any way Bama covers. If you're betting, you can't bet them to cover. And I think these two teams are so flipping close. I think they're so evenly matched.
This is not a game I would be betting on.
Where are you guys at in the comments section on Alabama, Texas? Drop your predictions. Salamini, Alabama 35, Texas 16.
Nah, not
the
that
Texas
far.
offense is loaded, man. Alabama's secondary, I think, we're gonna find out who they are tomorrow night.
Yeah.
And I think they're him.
Yeah.
I do. Shough, Phil in OKC. If it rains, Texas will get mud-holed. Okay. Tarrant County, boy.
Man, boy.
In Saban, we trust. OG, whoa. Darling Dev Fish, not a chance. Not a chance what? OG Gary, Mrs. Monty got a membership awarded. She did.
She did?
She did.
What does that mean? What does that mean?
I don't know.
A membership awarded?
I don't know.
What does that mean?
Teddy Wayman gifted 5 memberships.
Okay, Teddy. Tyler King of Utah, baby. Utah.
Let's go, Teddy. And Mrs. Monty grabbed a membership. Gary Krug grabbed a membership. Tim Cox gifted a membership. Zayden Schoenhofer.
Yeah, nice name.
Oh!
Schoenhofer.
Dakota Tubbs. Oh!
Yeah.
Okay.
Jeff Woodworth, Bama 65-7. Is that some bias in there?
Roll Tide!
Adams P says Texas 17, Bama 14. Texas is back.
Oh, please.
Hook 'em, boy.
Hook 'em, boy.
Darling Deb, isn't Texas always loaded? It's been almost 2 decades.
Isn't Austin and Tarrant County, boy?
Can't you guys feel the hate resonating through your TVs right now on
75
Texas?
inches of power.
Baby. Bryce Martin, they're loaded, but they're having trouble at guard. They won't be able to run the ball well. Okay. Tarrant County, Pate. Bama by 21. Texas is always best in the Big 12 until the season starts. No Bijan, no success.
That's the bottom line.
Okay. Salamini. We hear Texas is loaded, take every year. Then they can't even win the Big 12.
Ow!
Tanner Plummer, Bama 31, Texas 20. Texas is back. Not. Shouty, Texas is back. Darling Deb, 44-23, Bama.
Hey.
Cleveland rocks. Texas pulls the upset. Jimmy Otson, Texas 18, Bama 24.
Roll Tide!
Delaric, Texas 21-17.
You're out of your freaking mind.
I like it. Mrs. Monty, a member for 5 months. MIM, most important member.
You not wrong.
No, I got an important member for you.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that later. You know.
Hiscock.
Jeff Woodworth, Texas is back to being irrelevant.
Ain't no reset.
Michael Wall, K-State may lose to Troy. Would not be surprised if they do. That ain't happening.
Okay, dude, we're talking Alabama and Texas, and you rolled in with K-State versus Troy.
OG Gary, 31-28, horns up, boy. Hey, boy.
Boy.
Conference Commissioner Gumby, Texas is back to 7-5. The hate of Texas
Dude,
is
it's so real.
so good. I hate the Longhorns with white-hot intensity of 1,000 blazing suns, but I think it'll be a close game. Roll Tide. Okay. Teddy Wayman, well, hello, Mrs. Monty.
Hey, Mrs. Monty.
Gregory Krug, Texas may be loaded. Dana Holgerson is often loaded. Wow.
Yeah, bro.
Wow.
Damn. Wow, bro.
Man. Bryce Martin, the state might melt down if Texas wins that game. Might. Tony, hey, Tone.
Hey, Tone.
Bama 27, Texas 13. Clutch says 37-27, Bama.
Okay.
Okay. Bama 24-21 in overtime, Ritson says.
Man, that would be awesome.
Dan Dowes, Austin is in Travis County, Commie Land. Travis County,
Yeah, it's
Texas.
different than Tarrant County.
All cattle, no hats down there.
Yeah.
24-21 Horns. Look at everybody coming out.
Poll. Do a poll.
Oh,
You want to do a poll?
no.
No? No poll today?
that was this morning.
Wow, dude. Wow.
Let's see.
Did Roll Tide? No. Hook 'em. Hook 'em, boy. Hook 'em.
Hook
boy. Roll Tide.
Roll. If I could type.
Yeah, it's ROLL.
This would go faster.
Yeah.
All right, there you go, my friends. Hop on it.
Yeah, hop on the poll.
Texas or Bama, hook 'em, boy, or Roll Tide.
Do it.
Wow, that was quick. 73% are on Bama already.
Yeah.
I like it. Darling Deb says poll.
Yeah, poll.
Tanner Plummer, you casuals better vote Bama.
Roll Tide!
Cleveland rocks. Unfortunately, Texas plays the same time Texas Tech plays.
Well.
Texas over Bama 35-28 and the text. Okay.
Kiss my butt!
Well, let's get to the game of the day on this show. Duck, duck, goose. Oregon -6, 69. 69, boy! Heading down to Lubbock. Pew, pew! Texas Tech, Saturday night, 7 o'clock on Fox.
I only have one question, and it's really simple.
Is your mom hot?
No, that's not. See, you messed up my flow. I had a nice lead in there. It was nice and smooth.
Okay.
It was good, and then,
Okay.
Shuck, are you going to show up for me?
Yeah,
show up.
I agree. That's a huge question.
I think legitimately, I think it's the only question. If he shows up, they win the game. If not, they lose the game. Literally.
I want to be a believer. But Oregon's rolling. I mean, their offense put up 81. I know it was Portland State, but God, dog, they scored 81 points.
Yeah.
And I get it. It was Portland State. How did they not score 100? I don't know, and I don't care.
It's a wee fence.
Bo Nix was 23 of 27, right? Bucky Irving had 119 yards. Hey, Bucky. 119 yards on 4 carries. This is terrifying. But here's the question. Is Tyler Shough looking for revenge on Oregon? That's where he played originally, transferred to Tech. Is he looking for not only revenge, but respect? And here's the other question. Is he in position to take it? And I don't know if Tyler Shough is good enough to command the respect from the Oregon defense, because what I saw in Waco was not good.
Mm-hmm.
And he is the single biggest question mark about the Raiders that I have.
Yeah.
Because I believe in Joey. I believe in that defense, especially the front seven. You've got talent, and I just don't know that Tyler Shough is that dude.
Yeah. I in my prize picks, I have Bo Nix running for his life in this game. Right? I think the number was 24 something for rush yards for Bo Nix. I think Bo Nix is going to run around a lot in this game. And I think that, the defense for Tech, I thought, played well against Waco. I don't think that was the issue. I think
the play calling was the issue.
Yeah, the play calling was the issue, and the lack of throwing it to the open wide receiver was the issue. And that's what I'm wondering about. I would have a whole different opinion on this game if last week we didn't get just missed opportunities. I mean, again, much like, last night. Dude, Patty Mahomes threw it and it hit the guy in the hands. What do you want him to do? That's not what we're talking about here, though. We're talking about, hey, your guy was open, you didn't see it, and you threw it the wrong way. So that leads to questions of, hey, do you know the play like the back of your hand? Do you know where your guys are supposed to be? And are you that guy? And I think he can be that guy, but this is one of those games where it's like, hey, dude, if your team has any chance here of not being 0-2, you've got to show the hell up. You've got to have a bounce-back game, if there ever was one.
Here's the other thing that worries me. There is 0 game tape on this current roster for Texas Tech versus Oregon. You didn't see anything against Portland State.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't see any. You saw nothing from Oregon's defense in that game. Nothing. No exotics, no coverages, no zones, no blitzes, no stunts, no twists. Straight up, here's our 5 guys. Good luck.
Yeah.
You're going to see a very different Oregon defense this week. That worries me because this should be a shootout. You have the horses on defense at Texas Tech to make Bo Nix's life miserable. Can you stop him from running the football? We're going to find out, and I think they can. But here's the problem. I'm not a Tyler Shough believer. That's why I've got to go 38-27. Oregon dominates Texas Tech.
Damn, dude.
I hate to say it.
Man, I hate saying that, dude. I hate that, but I tend to agree. I think Oregon has a nice night here. I don't think it's 38 points nice, though. I think this is, 27, 24. It's a closer game than that. I think Texas Tech battles, but it just isn't able to get over the edge, much like last week.
Do you understand that the number is 68.5?
Mm-hmm. That's fine.
I don't think there's any way. In fact, my biggest question is, can Texas Tech score enough points to push this over?
Well,
that's my biggest question, because I think Oregon's going to get off the bus and have 31 on the board.
No. Nobody gets off and has 31. Not in my opinion.
Well, when your defense is on the field constantly because the offense isn't producing, and you have shown against Wyoming that you are willing to blitz in really non-blitz and stupid situations, the talent isn't the problem. I want to see better defensive play calling, and I want to see Tyler Shough dominate, and I haven't seen that, and I don't know that we're going to see it. Win cover under 38-27, Oregon over Texas Tech, and it hurts me to say it. I wanna see them break out, but this hurts, dude.
Yeah.
This really hurts, and I hope I'm completely wrong.
Yeah.
Conference Commissioner Gumby, the Shough truck, pew pew.
We'll see, dude.
Tone, Tech will play tough. Oregon pulls away in the fourth quarter. Jeff Woodworth, Ducks don't like the pew pew. Salty Drunk, Tech 39-37 in OT. My guy.
Hell of a story if it happens.
Let's go, Salty. Tarrant County, boy. Not even Mahomes can help Tech. Oh. OG Gary, Ducks by 40. Settle down. Phil in OKC, tortillas will be flying all night.
No.
Northwest Beeve. It pains me to say this, but Oregon is really damn good this year. I don't give Tech much of a chance. Ouch.
Damn.
Ouch. Tony.
Come on, man.
Tone.
Hey, Tone.
Hey, Tony.
Hey, Tone.
Oregon has quick routes to beat the blitz of that front seven.
That's right, T.
Adams P. Tech 35, Oregon 27. Jeff Woodworth, gotta go, football starting. Let's go, Woodworth, enjoy. Darling Deb, I went to Tech, but I gave zero respect for them. Wow. Hey, Tone. Shough is solid, but can't throw the ball past 30 yards. Gary, stop. 56-17 Oregon. Ooh. Roundabout. Oregon's game plan was generic because a generic game plan was enough to win easily, and they didn't want to tell Tech what they were going to do.
Yeah.
Raider Mark, if we get the last half of the fourth quarter and OT periods of the Wyoming game, Tyler Shough, we win. Well, you might be right. And it's personal for him.
Yeah.
It is personal for him, no doubt. Bryce Martin. Tech is going to need to score early, get on them early, stop the run, and make Nix win from the pocket, keep applying pressure.
Yep.
Aaron Wilson, that's fair. Bryce Martin, I might stop watching now if that comes true. Ooh. Northwest Beav, Oregon, 42-27. Tech's offense will be pitiful. Salamini. Let's see. The Duck does a push-up every point scored every time they score. I say Duck push-ups total 232, Texas Tech 7.
Where's the Italian?
Okay. I don't know how to figure that out. Michael Wall, Tech is going to lose by 21 at least, but if they lose closer, then they still have hope for maybe a good season. But 10-2, 11-1 season talk was a joke. Yeah. And we'll find out if it's a joke tomorrow.
Yeah.
Did they let down in Waco? We'll find out. Was Laramie who they are?
That's what I mean. Is there a chance that we see just a totally different team this week? They're at home, sleeping in your own bed. Do we get the high flying? And they're two different teams. I mean, let's not discount this. They're a different team at home, man. I mean, I got to think that. Yeah. I don't think Oregon's just going to run away from them.
Ooh, Teddy Wayman, 42-24 Oregon. Oh. Darling Deb, they're located in Texas so they can get talent. Yes, they
Texas.
can. Salty Drunk, you'll learn more from a close loss than a close win, right? Well,
that's true.
We'll find out who your character is.
That was a painful loss, too, dude. Like, damn.
Tarrant County, SMU, boy. Tech needs a wee fence.
Bro.
Stop.
Why are you getting Michigan vibes in here?
It's a wee fence.
Aaron Wilson, it's a really fair take, Monty.
Hey, Monty.
I want Tyler Shough to be that dude. This should be dude. Or you transferred from Oregon to Tech.
want it.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Show me that.
Slice him up.
Show me. Delaric, 56-28 Ducks. Come on now.
Is this the dagger?
Cleveland Rocks. Tech will run the ball to keep Oregon's offense off the field. They better. Bama smacks the alcohol out of Sark's system.
Dude. Chill.
Dude.
Chill, dude.
Just take it nice and easy, okay? Just relax.
Raider Mark. Tech at home versus Tech on the road is different Tech.
That's what I'm saying.
Corey Erickson, Oregon 35, Tech 24. Tanner Plummer. Texas Tech 40-37 in triple OT. Pew pew. Javier, crazy things happen in Lubbock after sundown.
Love it.
Gary Wolf, Oregon 37, Tech 31. Bryce Martin, we just need our front four. Tech kept having to blitz to cover up for over pursuing in pass rush. Won't make that mistake again. Why did you blitz in overtime?
Idiot.
Why'd you blitz in overtime? Somebody explain it to me.
Really stupid.
Somebody explain it to me. Explain it to me. Because I don't understand it. I don't understand it.
Yeah.
That I truly do not understand. All right, let's finish up the poll on Alabama. 78 votes have Bama winning at 65-35.
There you go.
Roll Tide!
So we're all rolling with the Tide.
Yeah.
Real quick, I don't even know that there's much discussion about BYU.
BYU.
Will Kalani's boys handle SUU?
Swear to God, if they lose this game, dude. Season's over. Scorched earth.
I don't think they will.
No, they're not losing this game.
Where are you at on Kalani Sitake?
I think I appreciate the changes he made, and I think that, he's doing, a pretty good job through the transition of the Big 12. And again, it's again, talking to Isaac Rex earlier in the week, right? Mm-hmm. Isaac Rex on the show, talking about the fact that, we did win the game. Yes, we do need to execute better. Yes, there are things that we need to improve on, but we are 1-0, right? Like, I feel like everyone hit the panic button on BYU and was like, oh my God, the program's burning to the ground. Dude, they won the game. Yes, I agree. 14's probably not getting it done this week. Probably need to be, 24, 27 points, something like that. Couple of touchdowns. Like, you gotta produce this week. But I think it all comes down to creativity and Keaton Slovis's aggressiveness through his progression. Because again, if you're not going to take the shot when it's available to you, you're not going to put up 27, 30 points.
I feel like BYU's offense has a get-back week. Because I think you can't be conservative, and I love Aiden Robbins, and I love the fact that everybody's talking about that. Hey, he is going to be amazing. He's the guy you brought in to be your workhorse. Let him be your workhorse, but Keaton Slovis has to be the center of the offense.
Yeah.
And this is a make or break game for me on Keaton Slovis. Because if you lose this game, you're 0-2 essentially.
Yeah.
On offense, if you lose this game. My biggest concern is losing the locker room. And again, Cade Fennigan's my guy. We've talked about this. We've gone back and forth, and everybody calls me stupid. Okay, totally get it. I'm fine rolling with Keaton Slovis. I like Keaton. He's a good dude. He's a good, not stellar, not spectacular quarterback.
Right.
Can he be explosive? How many, what are we going to get on offense? What kind of play calling are we going to get?
That's kind of what I think needs to get figured out in this game is like, okay, where can we take shots? Who's taking those shots? Is, guys like Cody Epps need to play. Dude, I need Cody Epps running the seam. Like, I need the deep shot because ultimately that's how you get the defense's respect. It's what I've been saying in all these matchups, man. It's like what you said about Bama, right? Like, if you can exploit a defense's inability to run with your best receiver, they got to play further back, which opens the run game and opens the intermediate game. Yet BYU somehow hasn't quite found that yet. So I'd like to see some shots this week.
BYU's offensive line has got to come together. Kingsley Suamataia is the unquestioned Connor Pay as well. But I think Kingsley Suamataia has to be the calming influence here. Caleb Etienne, let's see what you got, dude. Let's see what you got. Waylon Lapuaho, let's see what you got. You guys are new to the program, totally understand it. You're trying to gel. You're trying to make sure that guys like Paul Maley can fit in. You're trying to get those three guys to fit in. Connor Pay and Kingsley Suamataia have to be the calming influences on that line. And I think Daryl Funk has to find a way, and I don't know if you can hit a button. I don't know if you can feed them more fettuccine. I don't care. Find a way to get those 5 dudes to play together as a unit because you need, and I will just go back and say, you've got to have Aiden Robbins run for 100 yards.
Yeah.
You want to win this game? Does he run for 100 yards? Because I look at the rest of these matchups. Aaron Roderick's got to open the offense up a little bit.
Seriously.
To do that, he's got to run the ball. And to run the ball, you got to have an offensive line. So that's why I say, give me 5 guys, give me Robbins RB1, and open up the offense for Keaton Slovis.
Totally agree.
Because if that's not going to happen, you're going to lose this game. You're going to lose this game. You got humbled last week going 14-0, winning 14-0. The defense is legit. The schematics on defense are legit. All this drop 56 guys in coverage and rush nobody, those are all gone. This defense can play. Jacob Robinson is legit the number 1 rated corner in the country last week. Give me 28 points and put these dudes to bed in the first quarter.
I'm for real.
You want to win the game? And I think they will. I think BYU will come out and show out.
Mm-hmm.
Got to run the football.
Yep.
And that offensive line is where it starts. Boyd Lake, the SEO King of America.
Yeah.
The O-line will be better this week. Kingsley Suamataia. Is that so easy? How come I can't say meteorological?
Meteorological and stuff.
Can't say it, but I can say Suamataia. I just can't say Meteorological Society.
Yeah.
Don't ask because I don't know. Kingsley just needs to be consistent. Set the tone. The dude is violent, though. Just what you need from an offensive line leader. Yeah, you do. You guys are convincing me that Tech has a chance. Oregon has choked a lot on the road. I just don't think Shough gives them enough to get it done.
Well,
don't disagree.
Okay, here's my thing, though. They're at home. They are a different team in that stadium. I'm telling you, this is not a game where Oregon's just going to come out and blow their doors off. I think that there's going to be a battle for about 18, 19 minutes of game time here. They're going to battle. And it's only a matter of, hey, can Texas Tech get down the field? Because, again, just like I said with BYU, nothing else matters unless you can show me, even on your first possession, give me a 15-yard post route. Earn the respect of the defense. What?
So in Prize Picks today, I have Luis Severino.
Yeah.
He just hit Willie Adames. I need more than 5 strikeouts. Top of the second, he's got 2, but my bro can't hit the broadside of a barn in the top of the second. Dots 2 bros in the first for 2 strikeouts. He just threw an 80-mile-an-hour changeup like 17 feet outside, and Chubbs McGahee Tellez didn't even look to swing at it. Are you kidding me? Throw it up there and make it look like a bowl of cherries, and Tellez will swing at it.
Yeah.
And then
he threw it away. Yeah, it's going the wrong direction here. Yeah, we're striking out into right field.
And now Adames is all the way to third, and here's my problem with Severino. Is he going to make it through the inning?
No.
Because this is what this dude does.
Yeah, it is. He is. He'll get to Les.
God, you're fun. Okay, I feel better.
Are you okay, dude?
No. Let's see. Boyd Lake, Texas Tech will be up for Oregon. Going to be a pew-pew shootout. Let's hope so. Big 12, all Texas sports fan. Texas Tech hangs 100 on Portland State. Pew-pew! Big 12, all Texas sports fan. Tech has more upside than Oregon. No, I'm not doing it again. Pew-pew! Delaric, a little off topic. What do you think of the rumor of Army to the AAC? Oh, it's done. Done. Love it. Love it. Because now, look, I know it doesn't say Dallas across their uniform, boys. But listen, it's Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines. Hey, let's go. Let's go. Yeah.
Look, what did I say? What did I say? Put some respect on my name. I told you he'd strike fat ass out.
Ronnie Tellez. Yeah, if you were at a buffet, guarantee you'd have gone deep on that one, huh?
Yeah.
Ronnie, please.
It's Friday, and I'm a little fired up. Mike Smith, yes, AAC is taking Army to join as football only, and it's the right thing to do. It's the right thing to do. Boyd Lake, why do you say hurtful things?
Hey, look, he's 0-1 on the next hitter.
Stros are leading the AL West. Nobody cares. Big 12, all Texas sports fan. Astros demolish. Okay, yeah, let's move on.
Yeah, hey, how are the what is the Astros garbage can supply looking like these days?
Boss Frog put an Astros take in the group chat like Tuesday or Wednesday. And I put oh my God, his name went right out of my head. Brett, the left fielder for the Yankees. The short little bald dude that was hitting
I know what his name is.
Anyway.
Brett Gardner.
Brett Gardner. I put a Brett Gardner gif in the chat.
Because
it was amazing.
it's garbage.
Kansas football, baby. Tarrant County, SMU,
County, boy.
Kansas. Let's not sleep on Kansas and Illinois, because that game is underway and Kansas hasn't scored yet. Damn it!
Listen, I'm too busy watching Severino mess up your prize picks. Okay.
Yeah, I know. Come on.
And he just get. Oh no, he didn't. Okay,
He didn't walk anybody. Illinois, Kansas in the first quarter.
The
but we'll
Fighting
keep you up to
Illini.
date on that. All right, those are our picks. What else you guys? Where else you guys at on the football field? Some of the other games that we didn't decide to pick this week that I thought were interesting. Iowa State. Iowa's a 3.5-point favorite in that game. I think Oklahoma being only 14.5 over SMU. Tarrant County, boy. We know they're in Dallas. Thank you. I thought that line was interesting. Do you guys believe in Venables? Sooners are back, bro. Then why are you only 14.5 over SMU? I don't know. Mighty ACC. Also, Pitt Cincinnati's very interesting. Pitt's 6.5 in that game. And I think our guy Satterfield showed that Cincinnati's not quite as far down as everybody made him out to be.
Yeah.
And then I think one of the games of the weekend, Blast the State. UCF. Blast the State.
It's UCF or die, bro.
Boise State in Boise, 3.5 points. Man, I think
UCF
you
is
got to
covering
take
that,
UCF.
dude. You have to. You have to.
Speaking of Florida, one thing before we get out of here, a little breaking news for you.
Yeah.
Look at the Murph.
Yeah, hey, Murph.
Look at the Murph.
USF, home of humidity.
It's the Murph. How about our guy, Brett McMurphy?
Wow, this is real.
USF receives final board approval for a new on-campus football stadium, allowing the Bulls to borrow up to $200 million for a $340 million stadium.
I'm for real.
This comes a day after USF received record $25 million donation from Tampa General Hospital for its athletic district. I don't, to this day, understand why USF is not in a P5. Because this right here is all that we've been waiting for. It's over now.
Well, this is the UConn situation, right? You got to have a football stadium on campus.
I agree.
You have to have it.
I agree. I think this is a big one.
That's wild, dude. They got permission to borrow up to $200 million out of a $340 million project. Crazy.
I think USF is going to be a power.
Yeah.
Delaric, I should probably take that off the screen.
Yeah, take the graphic down.
Delaric, I don't know what that was. SMU 17-14.
Oh, what are you talking about, man?
Big 12, all Texas sports fan. Army delivers the U.S. military for the AAC the same way SMU delivers Dallas for the AAC.
Yeah, nice endowment.
Boyd Lake, there's some serious cash in Florida. Yes, there is.
Yeah, more cash or more humidity. By the way, anybody seen Hurricane Henry or Harry?
Salamini.
Bro, you're accentuating that heavy today, bro.
Because you were talking over me.
Where's the Italian?
Hospital, give money to sports and not lowering bills. Exactly.
Yeah, why would a hospital want to lower the bills, dude?
Darling Deb. USF is trying to make it into a power conference. Can't blame them. Well, now's the time to do it because there's going to be more realignment in a couple of years. Get him. He swung. Give me that K here.
I want it.
Okay.
I love that show.
Bro, okay, what are you at? Now you got to update us since you're going to be out here ringing people up.
I'm just telling you guys, if you're not playing Prize Picks.
Bro, Buddy almost fell out of his chair ringing up the hitter. Has he already hit? Did he hit?
No, he's at 4 now. That's 4 out of 5.
Oh, okay. It's only, what is the second inning? He's dominating.
Yeah, that son of a bitch. Ellie De La Cruz has a 0.
Well.
Ellie! The one time that I take Ellie De La Cruz in Cincinnati.
Mm-hmm.
The one time.
He don't love you.
Please let it be in a rain delay. No, it's not. It's 6-3.
No, he just sucks.
Yeah, no rain delay. He's terrible. Whoa! Ella De La Cruz is 0 for 2. Yeah, thanks, Dick.
Yeah, nice job. Turns out being 6'5" and 180 and being a stud doesn't work every night.
Yeah, Jack Wagon. Okay, we should end the show
Too
now.
much Tarrant County talk.
Tarrant County.
Hook 'em, boy.
Boy.
Okay.
As always, the official energy provider of the Monty Show. The fuck do I know? Is Bucked Up Energy. Bucked Up Energy, the official energy provider of the Monty Show. Use the promo code Monty20 to get 20% off your purchase at buckedup.com. Until Monday, say goodbye, Jake.
Goodbye, Jake.